Thank you, Alice. You're so sweet.
Thank you so much.
I just fanned you.
Party people, you there? In the place to be? Huh? Oh, right. What's going on? It's me. Fucking this camera issue. Yeah, I fucking hate you now. Not you now, but you now. Is on some bullshit. Hey, party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. If you're watching this on YouTube, terrific. If you're watching this on, I don't know where I'm gonna put this thing out, but let's just start and take it away. Everybody knows, or you should know, how this whole live streaming along with something thing happens. I'm not the first one to do it. I'm not the biggest one to do it. This is not the first thing to happen along with it. And by the way, if you've come here to my channel of this palace of wonders and wishes that we have here, you've seen some of the pay-per-views and that I've done here before, and that's actually, there are a couple of them. They're on the channel right now. Excuse the framing. This is just how it's got to go right now. But yeah, so I figured in the ramp up to Survivor Series, I thought, since I have access to the network, that if you have access to the network, you can go along with me on this journey of taking a look at some classic Survivor Series that exist. And they're in the Pantheon. They exist. There are some really good ones as we ramp up to this one's, which I'm not sure if it's going to be really good or not. But I know it's going to be. I know it's going to happen. And so, as we ramp up to the Survivor Series, let's take a look at some of the Survivor Series that were. Some of the Survivor Series that happened beforehand. This one that we're going to take a look at right now is Survivor Series 1993. That's right, Survivor Series 1993. If you have access to the network, do yourself a favor. If you have access to the WWE network, do yourself a favor. Go on over, find the pay-per-view, Survivor Series 1993. Now, as you're going to go look for that, I'm going to do a couple of things. First off is vamp, which is talking as I'm doing stuff. But also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be linking this so that we can try to get some super liveness stuff happening here on the channel, on the network at the exact same time. Because as you know, we here at Two Drink Minimum, we do this stuff live. This Survivor Series is an important one to me. In the pantheon of the WWE, it's still an important one, but it's an important one to me in particular because This one happened during my first year of being a wrestling fan. And so I was 8 years old at the time. It was very near and dear to my heart. The build up to it had some twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, that I thought were possibly, to be honest, kind of extreme maybe. But here we are, and it happened. And so, what ended up happening, the pay-per-view that ended up, was one that had a few substitutions, had some twists and turns. It was a pivotal one for the company in one aspect, in one particular story. It helped not necessarily submit, but it helped carry the company for a while longer than the original plan that they had probably would have. And overall, it's not a bad pay-per-view. There were some actual really good matches involved in it, too. So, here we go. This is Survivor Series. Yeah, I know. Oh, SmackDown Live's on too. Whatever. Like, I'm doing it right now just because, like, there's some people who aren't watching SmackDown Live right now, right? And by the way, you can watch this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch it whenever you feel like it on YouTube. Now, with me. Yeah, you can. That's a thing. You can do that. So, here we go. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure that I have the proper link. No, that ain't the proper link. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll see if I can access it through another YouTube port, and then we can see. I don't want to. Yeah. there's this whole rigmarole that has to go through with this whole thing, trying to make sure that this actually goes up, and that it actually goes up live. All right, so here we go. I was almost tempted to do SmackDown Live as the hashtag, but that would have been disingenuous, and I ain't about that. I ain't about that life. Well, okay, sometimes, but not to you, not to the party people. I love the party people. I love y'all. Y'all are what keeps me going. Y'all are what keeps me strong. I lean on you when I'm not strong. You are my friend. You help me carry on. Oh, you won't be long. Till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. And you might have a problem. Alright, so this isn't working out as well as I wanted to. Actually, hold on. I don't think it'll let me see my own live shit, so I'm gonna have to access it through this port, which I didn't want to do, because all it's gonna do is slow down. We'll get to the pay-per-view. We'll get to the pay-per-view. Don't abandon me just yet. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, time limits and shit. As far as like stuff I actually need, like real life stuff that I need to get going. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to be here for you, the party people. This is one of those things I decided to do on a whim. And I looked at the calendar and I was like, oh, Survivor Series is coming up super quick. Actually, this is kind of something I was thinking about doing last week, but I got a new job. And that whole transition. Okay, so I am live now doing a classic Survivor Series stream. Okay, so all I need to do is get the computer to stop tripping so that I can grab the link and put it in your mouth. Right in your mouth. No. Put it. Don't listen to me. Put it right there. Let's see. There's some reason not watching SD Live 900. Feel free to pop over and watch. Let me spell watch right. A classic. Hey, my finger's working again. A classic Survivor Series with me. Yeah. Survivor Series 93 with me. Yeah. I did that wrong. And it kicked me back again. And it kicked me back again. This computer's stupid. And it kicked me back again. Alright, that's fine. Boom. And it's up. Alright, so I'm only going to do that. Well, I might do that later in the week. Alright, so here we go. Pardon me. Well, if you're watching this now, alright, and you're in the network, I'm watching on my PS3. You're in the network. There's a Watch Now button. Survivor Series 93. Hit that Watch Now button now. And it's loading. And now we're live. We're not live, but it's a commercial for Survivor Series. I don't care. Goldberg versus Lesnar. First off, we already had it. It was 12 years ago, and it wasn't great then. Partially because we knew that both guys would be leaving, and we hated both of them for it. Lex Luger and his kids here in Survivor Series. They're really trying to get Lex over as a family man, as Mr. Whatever. Like, they couldn't even, that's interesting that they couldn't get the kid a sweater that wasn't an Air, that didn't have a logo on it. That's interesting. No one cared about Lex Luger. And just cut to some random dude doing the national anthem. I guess they told them beforehand because everybody's already standing. It wasn't a surprise thing. It was a surprise thing to us as the audience as we're watching. For those of you who haven't joined me on these little missions of love/hate of wrestling, I'll do some color commentary for you if you're watching along and don't have the network, but you should. Like this one you really should be watching along. I say the network because that's how I'm watching it. That's the legal way you should be watching it. However, it's the internet, for God's sake. Let's not pretend that this shit isn't on if it's not YouTube, Daily Motion, or some 56.com or some internet you can stream it. There are ways of finding this shit, all right? So and the good thing is because I don't think there'll be any shitty commercials in this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like the VHS version of it. Look at that guy holding up the brown championship belt that never existed in WWF. I don't understand. How is it that the foam belts never looked anything like the actual belts they were wearing? Like, they owned those designs. What the fuck? Like, anything. They didn't look anything like them. It's not even like they were trying. I have one. I'm just not going to go over and reach for it. There's been too many distractions and shit in this whole thing as it is. Meanwhile, you get a commentary team of Vince McMahon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. This is one of Heenan's last... Matter of fact, this may be Heenan's... This is Heenan's last pay-per-view. This is Heenan's last pay-per-view. He gets kicked out shortly after. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase joins the commentary team as the heel commentator for the Rumble. There's no December pay-per-views here. It's the big four. It's the big five at this point. But they just inserted King of the Ring. It's Rumble, Mania... King of the Ring, SummerSlam, and Series. That's the five at the time. Now, if I remember correctly, the first match is a great match. But the first match also demonstrates how much of a clusterfuck, no, not this stream, how much of a clusterfuck this pay-per-view was. As far as substitutions and stuff. Like it's interesting to see Vince McMahon out there knowing the first match is a good one. Knowing what happened. Now, here's this first match. This first match I really like because it's basically the Intercontinental Division. Oh, that's right. The Intercontinental Division actually had like a division, and you actually knew who was in that division. Like, it wasn't just like, you got the belt, you'll go off there and you'll defend it, you whatever, yeah. No, this was at a time when you knew who was in the Intercontinental Division. You knew who the contenders were. You knew who the would-be contenders were. Adam Bomb was a would-be contender. I could definitely see Adam Bomb with the IC belt. As a matter of fact, there was a shoot interview he did where he was told he was promised the IC belt, but it never happened. Where they actually, I think it was something along the lines of they were going to give him the King of the Ring and then the IC belt, and they gave the King of the Ring to Mabel and just fucked him over. But here was the IC division at the time. IRS, Diesel, Adam Bomb, Rick the Model Martel, and by the way, at least on the heel side, and by the way, they were all contenders because they all had history. IRS had been in a heated battle with Razor Ramon for a while, since at least just before SummerSlam. In fact, that's what turned him after King of the Ring. His feud with DiBiase and IRS is what turned Razor face. Diesel, of course, bodyguard to Shawn Michaels, right? Of course, Shawn Michaels was the IC champ for a long time. That almost immediately put him in the IC division and on Razor's bad side. This is after, this is just before WrestleMania 10, so that put him on Razor's bad side. You had Rick the Model Martel, who was the guy who was in the ring competing for the Intercontinental Championship less than a month before this with Razor Ramon. And both of them number one contenders after winning that Battle Royal. I think... No, the Quebecers were the other two that were in there. But Adam Bomb was one of the last guys that was in that Battle Royal to determine the two guys who would face off for the Intercontinental Championship the next week on Raw. Then on the face side, you got friends. You got the Clique. You got Marty Jannetty. The original other guy that was supposed to be in this was Mr. Perfect. Well, shit happened with Mr. Perfect. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't remember if it was an injury or contract dispute or what. I think it was an injury. It might have been contract, though. It might have been money. It might have been a contract thing. Because Perfect was supposed to be on this team, and I was super looking forward to this match. Razor Ramon being my favorite wrestler at the time. I was super looking forward to this. But something happened. I'm pretty sure, and now I gotta look it up the long way. I'm pretty sure Perfect got injured, but I'm not. I gotta see. Let's see. Mr. Perfect Survivor Series 1993. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got injured. Let's see. Due to his anger over being bypassed for the Intercontinental title. He was... Oh! So it wasn't even contract. It was Perfect thought he was going to get the belt again. He kind of probably should have. Perfect probably should have got the belt again. He probably should have got that IC belt again. There was no reason not to give it to him. Although the decision to go with Razor Ramon clearly wasn't a bad one. But they could have worked something with him and Razor trading it back and forth. Like Razor for the longest time was trading the belt back and forth between Shawn and Diesel. There really wasn't a reason not to have Perfect in there too, trading the belt back and forth between all four of them. Whatever, we got Macho Man instead, which is a good thing for Macho because Macho wanted to wrestle, man, and had been wrestling sporadically on the show for a while, but Macho wanted to wrestle. And Macho could wrestle. There was really no reason for Macho not to wrestle. So this is an interesting... It seems on paper like a ragtag team. But they know what they're doing. But these are like this is not a bad team at all. And you got Savage, who former Intercontinental Champion, yes, but I don't see Savage as Intercontinental Champ, which is why Savage wasn't on those stupid Macho Man glasses. They weren't Macho Man glasses. They were regular glasses that you could get at like some dollar store. The Macho Man glasses would have had like Macho written on them on the lenses. Anyway, so they what's going on, Mario fanboy? What's going on? Let's see, Rave. Let's move this. Why did Miz have to win? Did he win on SmackDown Live? I haven't seen SmackDown Live. Or are you talking about the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know why Miz had to win. Probably, I mean, Miz has a head of steam on him right now. He's got a head of steam on him. I feel like I feel like they're as of right now with Miz, a good place to keep him is where they're keeping him. A bad thing to do would be to hot shot and put him back in the heavyweight title picture just cuz. Don't do that. Like, solidify that Intercontinental division. Like this right here, the Intercontinental division had solidified. And by the way, not to take credit away from Mr. Perfect in 1993, because a significant part of that was because of Mr. Perfect. I'm watching Survivor Series 1993, Mario fanboy. The first match is just getting underway. Like, they haven't even locked up yet. Okay, they just locked up. So, it's Martel and Razor, the two guys who fought for the Intercontinental Championship probably less than 3 weeks before this pay-per-view, and Razor showing off his skills. By the way, a lot of stuff that you see out of Razor Ramon and a lot of classic stuff, like the more known classic stuff, like it's hard to see his skill. Like if you take a look at Razor Ramon at Survivor Series, not Survivor Series, watch Survivor Series, at Mania 10, Razor didn't do shit in that match. People laud that match and they hold, this is one of the greatest ladder matches of all time. No. The superior ladder match to that was the first one between Bret and Shawn, because both of those guys worked. Shawn and Razor, that was all Shawn. It was Shawn that was, I've not seen any 1993 WWF. I heard it was a bad year. It was not a bad year, actually. 1993 was a better year than people give it credit for. Now, it had low ratings, but 93 WWF had some good stuff in it. Let me rephrase that. So the beginning part of 93 sucked. Now, and by the way, I've said that before too. I've said that 93, the business took a complete dive, and it did. The business took a complete dive, and it needed something like ECW throwing that belt down to absolutely shake it up. But there was good wrestling going on. There really was. And there were some good stories going on too. The business was in Hogan hangover, basically. And including the first part of that year, because Hogan came back. And really the turning point was in 92 when all the big guys left, the Hogans, the Jakes, Savage stepped down from active wrestling. That was a big nosedive for the business. That was Bret's first title reign. That was a huge nosedive for the business. It got better in the second half of 93. And this is in the second half of 93. After Hogan left and they were forced to spread their wings a bit more and learn from the lessons and the hard shots that they took in 92, at the end of 92, the end of 92 was a terrible year. But the second half of 92 sucked. But the second half of 93, so good. So good. So good. Like, you could see it. Let's see, 93, the turning point was really King of the Ring. The turning point of 93 was King of the Ring for WWF. And the work got better. And this Survivor Series is a pivotal point in that too. When we get to the main event and we see the reaction from the crowd, it was a pivotal point that helped make Vince turn it around in 94. So here, as we're watching this live, we've got Razor Ramon in there with Adam Bomb. Adam Bomb had Razor in a headlock, shots. Razor fires him off the ropes. Big shoulder block takes the 6'7" Razor and puts him on his butt. Because Adam Bomb is a huge man. Razor Ramon. By the way, Razor hasn't tagged out yet. This has all been Razor. This is Razor showing off. This is Scott Hall showing, hey, okay, I can work. I'm not just some big dude. I'm not lazy. I can work. Now he'll get lazy. Now he'll get lazy a little bit later. But this is Scott Hall working. And this is good work. And the crowd is into it. Adam Bomb taking Razor Ramon down to his knees. Again, they had Adam Bomb. I think they had him built somewhere around 6'9", 6'10". I think they wanted to keep him just under the Undertaker, which I think is when they started billing Undertaker as 6'10 and a half. They wanted to keep Adam Bomb just under Undertaker because Taker had been there a bit longer. But Adam Bomb was still a giant of a man, Brian Clark. The only thing I heard of King of the Ring 93 was the main event that not many people liked. Now, if you're talking about, Mario, if you're talking about the main event between Hogan and Yokozuna, that actually wasn't the main event. Oh, it was the main event, but it didn't go on last. The last match was Bret versus Bam Bam, and that was a good one. Bret's performance that night. I would actually suggest watching King of the Ring 93. And if you go back and use one of my videos, my favorite King of the Ring pay-per-view of all time was King of the Ring 94. King of the Ring 93 was a very, very, very close second because Bret's work, everybody's work, Bret, perfect, not everyone, but a lot of people in the tournament, Bret, Tatanka's work was good, Luger's was okay, Bam Bam's perfect, Razor's, their work in that turn, because what it was a coming out party for everybody on that roster not named Hulk Hogan. It was basically Hulk Hogan's retirement pay-per-view. They had to do one last thing with Hogan. Hogan was in the middle of the show, and it was the show where we got to keep moving. We just got to keep moving. Life goes on. That was basically the theme of King of the Ring 93. Survivor Series 93 now has all the heels in the first match not being able to get along. Oh, by the way, they set this up, too, on the Superstars and the TV beforehand. The heels weren't able to get along, too. This was another small thing, another aspect of this match that they paid attention to. They set stuff up for this match and for these other matches. Now, some of the other matches don't live up to the hype, but... So now Razor's tagged out. 1, 2, 3 Kid is in against the second biggest man in this match, Adam Bomb. Irish Whip, not Irish Whip, but pushing the Kid off from the headlock. Big shoulder block down. Irish Whip now over to the far side. Sunset flip by 1, 2, 3 Kid goes nowhere. Double choke slam has the Kid up and down. And Adam Bomb is just going to toss Sean Waltman around like China did to him. And here comes Diesel. Here comes the biggest man. Feature the big man. And the battle of the Clique members commences. It was always... I always loved 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Diesel's matches. I always loved him. And I'm sure Kid hated him because all he did was just get tossed around. All he did was just get tossed around. Oh, just flung. And he normally did too. Hey man, you're my favorite wrestler YouTuber. I really enjoy your wrestling vids. Thank you, Denny. Thank you, I appreciate it. My plan is to do these for the rest of the week, leading up to Survivor Series, or at least as many of these as I find interesting. I found this one interesting. I find 94 interesting. Big boot right to the mush of the Kid. I find 94 interesting. I find 95 interesting. 2002 was a great one. That's 4. I don't think we need to do a whole shitload of... Oh, yeah. I loved Adam Bomb. Adam Bomb's interest. Denny, you love Adam Bomb. He terrified me, too. But every time... By the way, this was an era when Squeeze-Its still existed. God bless Squeeze-Its. Squeeze-Its were the greatest kid drink of all time. And every time I had the little red one, tongue went out. Here comes Randy Savage like a house of fire, like a man who hasn't wrestled in a year, even though he's been wrestling sporadically all year. But this was Savage. This is the only King of the Ring pay-per-view I saw was the last one in 2002, which was alright. Yeah, the 2002 one was alright. It was alright. Mario fanboy, how have you not taken my advice and gone and searched out King of the Ring 1994? King of the Ring 1994, in my opinion, is the best King of the Ring pay-per-view. Period. It just top, not even, well, almost period, because 93 was really, really good. But I feel like 94 perfected it. Just top to bottom, almost top to bottom. Great show. Like, they shouldn't have had Piper and King finish that show at all. But top to bottom, great show. By the way, Savage just eliminated Diesel with the Macho elbow. Savage just eliminated Diesel with the Savage elbow in record time. Well, not record time. It might have been record time at this point. But actually, no, it probably wasn't. I feel like there were other matches. Actually, I know there were, because I know 91 had a lot of short ass matches. 91 had a lot of ridiculously short matches. It was a packed card, but there were a lot of short matches. Like the Ric Flair match ended in a double schma, ended in a fucking schmaz. Like, and you had that's why the 91 one doesn't make it on this list of stuff we're going to review, because it was basically a schmaz fest, short ass matches, and then Taker versus Hogan, and we all know how that went. I started watching until 2002 when I was 8. Well, you're not 8 anymore, so I would suggest my wholehearted recommendation, if you're going to watch. All right, well, we're Survivor Series, right? Since we're in the Survivor Series mood, I would suggest watching the Survivor Series along with me, the ones that we're watching. 93, 94, 95, 2002, which was when you started watching 2000. Watch 2002 Survivor Series now. You'll have a whole new appreciation for it. Woo! You'll have a whole new appreciation for that 2002 Survivor Series watching it now. Yeah, I would suggest watching those since we're getting in the Survivor Series mood. This Survivor Series, the 93 one, particularly this first match, was so good. Now, the backstage shit that happened with most of these honestly, yeah, most of these matches was interesting. This Survivor Series was the Survivor Series of shit happening backstage. That's what it was. This Survivor Series was a Survivor Series where a whole bunch of shit happened backstage to change the entire card and probably give Vince McMahon a heart attack. This is the Survivor Series that gave Vince McMahon a heart attack. From the arm lock into a headlock goes Razor Ramon on IRS. Dropped down as IRS and got a kick to the back, did Razor, from Rick Martel. And the referee didn't see it, and now the heels will take over. Rick Martel, the technician, from the middle rope, double axe down on Razor. Razor Ramon now staggering on his feet. Big rib breaker, yep. Connects right in that rib and lower back area, and now here comes Martel to work on it. There's a knee, there's an elbow from the model, who still has some of his hair. And here comes Adam Bomb. Big back elbow to Razor. Knocks him down. Let's see, you're going to watch the very first Survivor Series. I don't know. I might do it. I'm not looking forward to it because the first one was in 88? I feel like the first one was just the first Survivor Series I feel like was like the first WrestleMania. A lot of plotting, super slowness. However, I am thinking about it because there's a women's match in there involving the Jumping Bomb Angels, and the Jumping Bomb Angels were amazing. So I might do that. This year's Survivor Series, I expect. Here's what I expect. I don't know. I don't expect the Shield to get back together. I don't think any of them in particular need it right now. Like it'll be a thing that happens when they need to do it. I don't think that they need to do it. It'll be a thing that happens maybe leading up to WrestleMania if the odds against Seth Rollins from Triple H is too much. Maybe, but they might just let Seth chill on his own. I'm not expecting the Shield to get back together. I'm not expecting Brock versus Goldberg to be any good, or to be as good as a lot of people think. I'm expecting, I'm expecting it to be a match. By the way, their match at WrestleMania 20 wasn't terrible. It's just that we all knew that they were leaving, and so we all fucking hated it. We all fucking hated it. That's why we hated that match. We weren't even hating on the match. We were hating on the guys. We weren't giving the match a chance. So I'm not expecting that match to be any good. I'm expecting Raw to win. the red team since the Republicans won. I'm expecting the Raw team to win the exact same way the Republicans did. Basically, essentially steamrolling over SmackDown, which helps solidify Raw as the A brand, and will help Vince McMahon continue to say that for no fucking reason, even though Raw is inferior to SmackDown every fucking week, in part because SmackDown is 2 hours and Raw is 3, plus talking Raw or Raw talk or whatever the fuck it is now. Hey, Smart Cheyenne, how you doing? Welcome aboard. We're watching Survivor Series 1993 on the WWE Network. It's not too late. The first match is about to wrap up relatively soon. Right now, I don't know how the setup is. Let me see. Okay, so it's match by match. It's not elimination by elimination. So we're getting close to getting to the second match if you want to hang tight. We're just talking about wrestling. What I'm expecting from this next Survivor Series. The matches will probably be good. I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope the women's match isn't a complete clusterfuck. I hope they can keep it together. The problem is the women haven't been able to figure out more than a tag team match. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been able to figure out what to do when there's more than 4 women in the ring at the same time. It all kind of gets clustered. I'm hoping that it doesn't. I'm hoping that, matches that are supposed to have enough time get enough time. I'm hoping that matches that aren't, don't. I'm hoping that the tag team match is a clusterfuck, but in a good way. And actually, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to as far as Survivor Series is concerned is NXT TakeOver, because it's NXT TakeOver, and NXT always does it well. NXT always rocks it. NXT does not fuck around with their pay-per-views. That show is going to, and Mickie James' return, oh my god, that show is going to be good. Back to this Survivor Series, by the way. Former Intercontinental Champion Marty Jannetty, big high headlock on, you heard tonight is the night. I did hear that tonight is the 900 SmackDown. I forgot that tonight was the 900 SmackDown until I started tweeting about this and saw it trending on the thing, and I was like, oh well, the camera's already set up, and you don't know how long it took me to set this damn camera up. I'm not stopping now. I'll catch it later. I'll probably catch it tomorrow morning before I go to work. Just because it's the 900th. SmackDown is better than Raw, but you can miss some SmackDowns. It's fine. And I might be finished in time for Talking Smack. So we might be doing that too. Marty Jannetty, meanwhile in '93, just got a side suplex that's gonna send him to the medicine cabinet. He's gonna pop a few Xanax after that. Not it was Xanax around in '93. He's gonna pop a few something or others, some gimmicks after that. By the way, you want to talk about that? Look at this matchup. This is an interesting matchup when it comes to drug use. Honestly, this is an interesting take. What's going on, Ray? This is an interesting take on this. But look at the face side. Scott Hall, Randy Savage, Marty Jannetty, 1-2-3 Kid, and then Diesel on the heel side. 5 of the 8 men involved had significant drug problems. Significant drug problems. That almost cost them their lives. That did cost a few of them three of the 5 their careers. Different kinds of drugs. Pills for the Clique members. I think Nash's drug of choice was alcohol. Let's see, for next month, you should do the one shot. I am! Get out of my head, you witch! I am doing this Tuesday in Texas. Yes, I am. I was going to do it a couple months ago, and then I saw when they did it, so I'm going to do it on the anniversary. You read my mind, Mario fanboy. I am, in fact, doing this Tuesday in Texas the day on the anniversary date. Yes, I am. Don't think I'm not. It's happening. Because I really feel like that pay-per-view is underrated. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely doing that. And especially the Savage Jake match. Jesus Christ, that's worth the price of admission alone. That's worth the price of admission alone. So here we go. Now as we're gearing into this matchup here. Again, this is a good match. It's been going for a while. Martel's still in there. Adam Bomb still in there. Versus Razor, the Kid, and Marty Jannetty, who the two of them would go on to become tag team champs not too long after this. Like, I think less than a month? No, more than a month after this. They would become... No, less than a month. It would be less than a month. So now this whole thing's breaking down Razor's Edge. And Marty, oh, but there's IRS with the briefcase right to the ribs of Razor Ramon to set up their feud leading into the Royal Rumble. Weird Hours pay-per-view was shot on a Tuesday, not Saturday. Yes, there's a story behind that. I think there is a story behind that, and IRS is accidentally bleeding because in '93 you don't bleed on purpose, and plus it was like in his eye, like he caught something. He probably caught that briefcase as it landed too. So Razor's been counted out, so now it's 2-on-2. There is a story behind this Tuesday in Texas. I'm going to look it up. I remember hearing about it at one point. I almost want to say Vince wanted to corner the market, wanted to not have to just do Sundays or something like that. By the way, it's not the only one. SummerSlam 91, the one with the Jailhouse Rock match and the match made in heaven and the match made in hell, that was on a Monday. They didn't always have pay-per-views on Sundays. That SummerSlam was on a Monday. So, and I think one of the WrestleManias was on a Monday. I think one of the super early WrestleManias was on a Monday. So it's not unheard of. And I want to say that some of the pay-per-views back in the day, in like the golden era, the 90s era, were like on Saturdays. So Sunday became the day, but it wasn't always the day. It wasn't always the pay-per-view day. Look at this young 1-2-3 kid facing off against the model Rick Martel here. The 1-2-3 kid, his eyebrows just grown back in after having him shaved on the road by members of the Clique. I have a poster of him that was taken when he had those eyebrows cut off. Because he had to take promotional pictures like the next day. And they cut his eyebrows off. And he looks like a cancer patient. Which is not funny. But he fucking looks like a but only on his eyebrows. Then there were 2 Taboo Tuesday pay-per-views. That's right. Which again, like, it is what it is. Like, it's a bare day on the calendar. Like, it's not. It's a good strategy to hit a day on the calendar that nobody else is hitting. Watch out, ref! Big plancha by the Kid, but then a body slam down as he was caught by Adam Bomb on that concrete parquet floor with that thin gym mat. Not even a gym mat. Like, I don't even think that mat was thick enough for us to take naps in kindergarten. Here comes Adam Bomb launching over the top rope with that launching clothesline, and the Kid is laid out. Yes, Taboo Tuesday. It's a bare day on the calendar. When the first company I worked for, Mach 1, they ran on Fridays because nobody in Southern California was running on Fridays. Everybody was running on Saturdays. And I don't even know. Everybody was running on Saturdays, and Lucha Pro was running on Sundays. Nobody was running on Fridays. So John ran on Fridays. It's a good strategy. Why not? Guess what? It's a bare day on the calendar. Nope. You have Monday. You have you have Monday. You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Nobody's running shit on Tuesdays. Why not run shit on Tuesdays? Why not have a pay-per-view on a Tuesday? And don't give me that you can't fill an arena shit. Basketball does it all the time. Each basketball team plays 82 games a year. You think those are all on Sundays? They fucking fill stadiums all the time. Every day. Right now, a stadium's being filled up. This Tuesday night. Tonight, a stadium's being filled up by basketball. That's not being filled up by SmackDown Live. You can do it. Me will pay for you. Might have been a bad idea for Taboo Tuesday to be on Tuesday since SmackDown was taped on Tuesday. Now, see, that was always an interesting point to me. I don't know, but I think what they did was that they taped 2 SmackDowns the night before or the week before, which, again, the way bookers schedule their tapings has always seemed fucking weird to me. The way Vince scheduled his tapings back in the day always seemed like they taped like months worth of shit in one sitting. Like, it was always weird. It was always weird to me. Marty Jannetty's in there, House of Fire, as the kid just took the heat. Why? Because he's the smallest member on the team. Here comes Marty Jannetty in on Rick Martel. Big $1 million knee lift on the model. Model now barely getting up to his feet, assisted by Marty Jannetty. Irish whip now over to the near side corner, and Marty Jannetty is a House of Fire right now as Rick Martel is going to get a face full of turnbuckle. All the way to 10. Is he going to make it to 10? Get that! 2 former tag team champions in there. Jannetty with the Rockers. Martel with Strike Force. Here comes the kid one more time. Irish whip now. Double time. Jannetty hit a standing elbow. The kid hit a flying spinning one. Irish whip now. Martel corner to corner over to the far side. Kid gets reversed in there. Here comes a Briscoe roll. 2 and 3. Got Martel. Martel is out. Remember when the night was taped weeks ahead? Yeah, I do too. It was always fucking weird. There it is. Sunset flip from the outside to the inside goes Marty Jannetty on Adam Bomb, and the 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty win the match. Now this, if you're watching along with me, this little victory here is probably what made Vince, and the reaction is probably what made Vince decide to put the tag belts on those kids. This is probably why. At least for a second. And it was a good second, too. I was into it. I was into it. When they beat the Quebecers, I was into it. I was into it. Especially considering that the big draw of the match, Razor Ramon, had already been eliminated. That was a big moment. That was a big moment. So now we have Shawn Michaels in, doing a promo. He's walking around with his fake Intercontinental belt. Now, this match is another match with a substitution because of some backstage, not backstage, but it's because of some off-camera stuff. The off-camera stuff this time is Jerry the King Lawler got implicated in a sex scandal with a 14-year-old girl. He was later cleared. I believe it was revealed that she made it up, but at the time, there's no way Jerry the King Lawler could do this match. There's no. He was immediately pulled off television, and because of the way his contract was. By the way, this is not the first time he was pulled off television because involving a younger woman. Or not the last time. The other time would be with his then wife, the Cat, or fiance or girlfriend, the Cat. But the thing is, the way his contract stood, he wasn't contracted specifically to WWF, in part because he was running Tennessee. So it's not like he lost money, but it's not like he was on the roster. He was on the roster, but he wasn't strictly a WWF guy. Like, he was working with WWF more than he was working for WWF. Meanwhile, here comes Stu Hart in this promo, wearing a Pistons jacket in Boston. What's going on, Pinna? Wearing Bruce and Keith look like they haven't been in wrestling forever. Bruce and Keith are One of them's a fireman. One of them's a teacher at the time. Wrestling Classic after WrestleMania 1. Was that after or before? Are you sure that was after or before? There was one pay-per-view. A lot of people think that WrestleMania was the first WWF pay-per-view. It wasn't. There was another one. There was one before it. I know there was one before it. Where was Hogan going up against... I want to say Orndorff. I want to say it was Hogan versus Orndorff. But it might have been Hogan versus Piper. It might have been Hogan versus Piper, and the whole thing ended in a schmaz just to set up WrestleMania. There was one pay-per-view before WrestleMania, though. I know for sure. I want to say the Classic came before. Let me check. Let's fire up this Googling machine here. Let's see. The Wrestling Classic was first. Or was second. It was on November. Huh. Oh! I think the other one... The one I'm thinking of wasn't on pay-per-view. I think it was on MTV. I think that's what solidified the Rock and Wrestling connection. I think it was on MTV. There was another show... It was on MTV. Anyway, yeah, yes, I have heard of it. So at this point, now part of the reason why this all happened, this Survivor Series match happened, was Jerry the King Lawler's whole thing was he was talking shit about the Hart family. That was the whole thing. That was the entire thing, was he was talking shit about the Hart family and Bret Hart and all this other stuff. But he couldn't make it because of the charges with the 14-year-old girl. Now, it was called the Family Feud, so they brought Ray Combs in for that because he was the host of the Family Feud, and also because he was a huge wrestling mark before he committed suicide. It's real. Depression's fucking real. So it was going to be Jerry the King Lawler and his three knights, who we had no idea who they were going to be, which was good because with this pay-per-view of substitutions, like Jesus Christ, like this pay-per-view of substitutions, like you needed masked guys, and they got some three masked guys to do this. By the way, this is not Ray Combs' first pay-per-view. He did WrestleMania 8. He hosted the 8-man tag team match there, only that one was an elimination. He did his comedy bit beforehand, and I'm going to try to save you the torture of that, because yeah, Ray Combs was a huge mark, so they brought him back. Ray Combs and Regis were probably the two. Ray Combs, Regis, Bob Uecker were probably the three biggest marks that for WWF that were still on TV. That had to be. I'm thinking about it. That had to be the one where Batista took over for Austin. Where Batista took over for Austin against the coach or some shit. It was Batista took over for somebody. I'm pretty sure Batista took over for Austin against Jonathan Coachman. And that was when Vader and Goldust came back for no reason. And Vader, we wanted to welcome Vader back, but then he fell on his ass leaving the ring. Oh. We wanted to believe that Vader was still and he's still, by the way, Vader's a tough, and I just saw the news that Vader said that the doctors only gave him 2 years to live? What the fuck? Like a week ago, I saw some shit on Twitter where he was in a rollover car crash. And his face was all bruised up. He had a big-ass black eye. I'm like, what the fuck? And now I'm hearing that he's saying his doctors only gave him 2 years to live? What the fuck, Big Van? Oh my God. Vader, if anybody shows you this, man, shows you this part of the video on YouTube, you know, my hat's off to you. You were always one of the best big men in the business. I feel like your matches were absolute classic. And you gave us a shit ton of joy, man. I like, get better soon, man. Just get better soon. Like take care of yourself, man. Just take care of yourself. On a lighter note, here comes Shawn Michaels and the three knights. One of them was Greg the Hammer Valentine. I believe the Hammer was the Blue Knight. Let's see, looking at the physique. We can get to the physique through Shawn Michaels. By the way, Shawn Michaels just coming back from a suspension. What's going on, Will? Shawn Michaels just coming back from a suspension at this particular point in 1993 because of various issues, including, but not limited to, I think he didn't show up for shit. I think there was drugs involved. Oh, yes! Yes! I blocked that from my memory, but yes. It was Big Show versus Taker in a Punjabi prison match, and it had to happen because they spent so much fucking money on that Punjabi prison. They designed the fucking thing. It had to happen. They spent a ton of money on that thing. If I remember correctly, it was about as big as the Elimination Chamber. They spent a ton of money on that thing, so it had to happen. It was not going to happen. It was not going to happen. And Khali got injured, and next thing you know, it's Taker versus Big Show in that match for quite literally no reason. It was for quite literally, there was no reason whatsoever for the, like, they could have had a match, like, alright, but there was quite literally no reason for them to be doing it in a Punjabi prison match. Like, it wasn't either one of their specialties. The whole point was that it was Khali's specialty. That's like having a casket match without The Undertaker or Kane. Like, maybe you could have... I guess it depends. No, it's not. Because you can have darker gimmicks. I could see taking over a casket match. Had he been booked better, a Kevin Thorne / Mordecai doing it, or a Gangrel doing it. Although, my idea for Gangrel should have been the master of the First Blood match. Honestly. Like, that's just a fucking slam dunk. You're making the master of the First Blood match. Duh. If you're gonna do that, do that. Anyway, we're watching Bret the Hitman Hart walk down the aisle, just past that little white mark where the beginning of this match takes place. As of speaking, we are 48 minutes and 11 seconds into this pay-per-view. If you're trying to follow along in real time, hence real-time reviews, yada yada. Here comes Stu Hart. Yeah. He probably broke 18 hands that he was shaking as he came down to the ring. Oh, now he's wearing a Boston jacket. So one kid got to shake Stu Hart's hand. His looks like his little sister, brother. His little sibling got the Bret Hart shades. This is an interesting match. If you don't know, the developments that take place in this match, especially near the end, help keep WWF afloat in the next year. You need this match to happen, and you need the circumstances behind it to happen in order to keep WWF interesting help keep it interesting for the next year, to help give it a base. to go off of quite literally the next year. Otherwise, you don't have another year. Otherwise, you really have to scramble and make some shit up. And Ray Combs got to do color commentary with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Let's see here. Look up who the Knights are for you. So, Jeff Gaylord was the Black Knight, the big Black Knight. I don't know who Jeff Gaylord is. We're going to look him up. Greg the Hammer Valentine was the Blue Knight, and Barry Horowitz was the Red Knight. How about that? So this is Barry Horowitz's first Survivor Series, but not his last. How about that? By the way, we're gonna look at one of Barry Horowitz's. I think it's his last Survivor Series, 1995. At some point, I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow. I'm making this up as I go along. I know I really wanted to see this one, so that's why we're doing this one tonight. Pay-per-view full of injuries since almost every match had a replacement guy. Yeah, oh my gosh, it was so weird. It was so weird. But all the ones. By the way, welcome Linda. Thanks for watching. What's going on, Elias? But this one was so weird. This 1993 Survivor Series was so weird because it was a whole bunch of off-camera shit. Like, it wasn't even injuries that kept people off. There were kayfabe injuries that supposedly kept people off, but not real injuries. Not actual real injuries kept people off this show. So it was real. It was interesting. What's going on, Zalai? We are Zalal. We're going to go with Zalal. Ms. Krause? Let's do that. We're watching the classic Survivor Series here, folks. We're watching Survivor Series 1993. If you're following along in real time and you want to catch up to us on whatever device you watch the WWE Network on, I am currently about 51 minutes and 45 seconds into the pay-per-view. AKA the Harts versus the Knights and Shawn Michaels, which is one of those replacement matches. So there's Jeff Gaylord getting a super glancing knee from Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels trying to carry these Hart brothers in the ring is not an easy task, especially considering that these two, Bruce and Keith, hadn't really been competing. Yeah, I just thought you were just super enthusiastic to tell me about the Great American Bash. Let's see. He was a member of Psycho Sid Vicious' The Psychos as Akeem Hassan. He was in the Jeff Gaylord, the Black Knight. He was in the Nation of Domination in the USWA, so he had some stuff, right? He did some stuff. But he was a criminal too. He robbed a bank. The Black Knight robbed a bank of $5,000 and was able to get away. Then in February, this was in 2001. He robbed it in October 2001. Then, according to his Wikipedia page, then in February he robbed the same bank, not the same branch, not even the same bank, the same branch. This time, his license plate number was written down, and a high-speed chase resulted. The officer who pursued him ended up breaking his foot during the chase. Gaylord eventually lost control of his vehicle and was taken into custody. He pleaded guilty on 2 counts of bank robbery and was sentenced to 2 consecutive terms of 78 months. He was then released into supervised probation in 2008. In 2009, he was arrested in connection with another bank robbery in Colorado. Oh my gosh. As well as a robbery and attempted robbery at a branch in Castle Rock. In 2009, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison, after which he will be required. So he's out now. We still live? Can you still see me? I got a call. Are we still on? We still on? Hello? Are we still on? Can you see me? What happened? I just got a phone call in the middle of this thing. Am I still on? Damn it. Can you still see me? Because I can't see anything that's happening on the thing right now. It looks like I'm live. Still. I can't see me move is the problem with this. I can't see me move on the screen. And subsequently can't see any of your comments. Hold on. So now I gotta do... Yeah. I'm still there, but my camera froze. Now I can see your comments. I'm patching in on a different browser now to see if I'm live. That's coming up black. I guess you can still hear me. Alright, well, since you can still hear me, if you're watching this on the network, then go ahead and watch on the network. Stop looking at me, you big dummy. Look at Keith Hart now with the arm of the Blue Knight, a.k.a. Greg the Hammer Valentine, who put on a little bit of weight since the last time we saw him in a WWF ring, if I recall correctly. I don't even think he was on Superstars at this point. Still can't see myself on this camera. Damn it, Darnell. Motherfucker. People who call in 2016, who are these people? And where do they call? Who are these people? What are they doing calling? Who called somebody now? Do you even pick up phone calls when people call anymore? Everybody just texts. Everybody just texts. They Snapchat. Nobody calls. Nobody calls. But Darnell apparently called. I'm not trying to have to start this thing over. I may have to start this thing over though. You can't see me. Alright, we're gonna pause it here at 56 minutes and 45 seconds. Pausing it here. We're gonna come back when I can get this thing up and running again. Yeah, and that broadcast. Okay, let's see here. Okay. See if we can do this again. RVIVOR. That's Viber. Vor. No, or series. Submit. And you go live. And we're gonna see. There I am. Will it go through? Will it go through? Okay. So I guess we're back. I don't know. I can't call it. Fucking phone call. I gotta do this shit on my phone. Like, I can't do this on, yeah, alright, so now I'm back. I can't do this on my webcam just because it's fucking, it's dead. My webcam is dead. So, I gotta do this here. So, alright, here we go. Once again, picking this thing up, 56 minutes and 45 seconds. You're watching along on the network. You're going to press whatever play button is when I say 1, 2, 3, and now. So now we're back. And we're front. No, it's a bad joke. Anyway, the Red Knight now, Barry Horowitz with Barry Horowitz. Yeah, that guy. with a double underhook suplex. Look at the legs of Bruce there. again, so if you're watching the Survivor Series and you're wondering why the hell is Shawn Michaels with Knights, it's because Jerry the King Lawler got tied up with the 14-year-old and shit happened. So much money spent on the, yet it was only used 2 times. Well, because I guess they figured they had to put Khali in the damn match, but I want to know why they thought Khali could pull off a match like that. Khali could barely pull off a regular match. What in the fuck made them believe that the Great Khali could pull off any kind of a specialty match, especially a cage specialty match? What in the fuck? Like hardcore. I could probably do a hardcore match. But a specialty with like a cage? Like a cage match? A cage? Like, and not even a cage match. It was a cage match where, if I remember correctly, you had to escape 2 cages. It was like the Kennel from Hell match, right? You had the inner cage, and then you had the outer cage that you had to escape from. That was stupid. That was fucking dumb. Oh, it was bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. By the way, the Kennel from Hell match is a match I honestly, on paper, thought would be a great match. Cage inside the cell, that sounds good to me. But that whole thing was fucked up. By the way, you could probably still do something like that if you did it right. But they botched the Kennel from Hell match so bad, there's no way in fuck that you could have a cage inside a cell anymore. Maybe, when was that, 99? So, wait 20 years? So, in 2019, maybe we'll see another, not Kennel from Hell match, but another match set up like the Kennel from Hell match. Anyway, Bret Hart's in there cleaning up. Or Pfohl's not any match. Right. He could do, those kinds of cluster matches, the Great Khali. But that Punjabi prison match that's a bit too complicated for our boy. So here come the Knights. Big 4 collision in the ring. Yeah, he's set up in the ring. Bruce and Keith look like they haven't been in the business in forever. They look like it. Big drop kick to the Black Knight. Hook that inside leg and get rid of him. There you go. Little did I know that the Black Knight was a bank robber. Who knew that the Black Knight was a bank robber? Here comes Barry Horowitz now. Catching a thigh snap from Owen. Making a double. And Owen's going to start setting him up for the sharpshooters. Barry Horowitz starts crawling away from his corner, which is a good move. Too bad Bret Hart and Owen Hart have his legs and make a wish on Thanksgiving. Hart brothers. And I think Barry Horowitz is wearing his Barry Horowitz tights underneath the Red Knight. Underneath the Red Knight gimmick. He didn't have any red tights. He's wearing his Barry Horowitz tights underneath the Red Knight Hart's gimmick. He should have got red, black, and black. Maybe he didn't know. Who knows? He's black. He must be a bank robber. Yes, that's probably it. I'm sure it is. I'm sure he was wearing a hoodie while he was doing it. Keith now cutting I think that's Keith. Yeah, it's Keith cutting off Barry Horowitz from the corner there. By the way, their haircuts. These Hart brothers' haircuts. God, are they awful. Bruce and Keith, God, are their haircuts awful. I know it's 93, but holy fuck, dude. Like, you guys couldn't buzz it up. Especially Keith, you couldn't get rid of the porn stash for the night. Like, seriously? Like, even in 93, everybody knew that was a porn stash. Good Lord. They couldn't go to Supercuts or something. So now all this is the Hart brothers who haven't wrestled in forever getting a chance to go in there and wrestle again. There's another making a wish. They already did that spot. Here comes Keith coming back in on the Red Knight. And Keith just catching a turn. But by the way, we are nowhere near the end of this. We are nowhere near the end of this match. This match is not one of the better Hart matches. For no other reason than because Keith and Bruce don't remember what the fuck they're doing in there. They botched quite a bit. They don't remember what the fuck they're doing in there. God knows they're not in it to possibly get contracts from Vince. So Shawn Michaels, he didn't give a fuck. No, he didn't. No, Shawn Michaels really didn't give a fuck either. Those tights he's got on, those remnants of the tights Razor would have on, the same kind of material Razor would have on his tights at WrestleMania 10, I believe. No, I want to say maybe it might have been 11. Also, and Shawn Michaels is going to work on that arm there as he launches in. And now the hammer. Yeah, that's clearly Greg the Hammer Valentine. If you know Greg the Hammer's work, that's clearly Greg the Hammer Valentine working on that arm. I wonder if Gorilla Monsoon on commentary said, it takes the Blue Knight 45 minutes just to get warmed up. That was always his joke on the Hammer back in the day. It was like, it takes a tugboat. It takes Steamboat Willie that long just to get wound up. Yeah, that's clearly Greg the Hammer Valentine. Look at his face. That's clearly Greg the Hammer Valentine. Look at this. 4 great Intercontinental Champions in this match. Of all matches. 4 classic Intercontinental Champions in this match. Woof. Woof. So Bruce is just taking a shellacking now. The heat's back on the Harts. And Keith needs to be walked through this damn thing. God, this match is not over yet. Actually, he's got a porn stash / cop stash. I think cop stash is another one. Cops also had that stash. I'm gonna try to see if there's Barry Horowitz now taking it to Keith. There on the outside. And again, going right after that left arm, and the Hitman breaks that up. This match is going on for fucking ever. They gave these guys far too much time in this match. Far too much time. Entirely too much time. And they didn't need to take this much time to tell the story. I guess they were trying to be good to the Harts, but they didn't need this much time, especially since neither of these guys had really ever had been in the ring. I would hope that they had gotten into I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if they went down to the dungeon like the week before or something. Like they look like amateurs. They look bad. But the match continues. Wasn't JR doing commentary by this point? JR was doing commentary for Radio WWF. During certain portions of the match, you can see him and Gorilla Monsoon. They're over there right next to Vince and the Brain. They're doing Radio WWF commentary for this. JR did commentary for King of the Ring. He did commentary for King of the Ring and WrestleMania. But I think that was it, because it was DiBiase and Vince for the Rumble, and it was Vince and the King for WrestleMania, and then for 94's King of the Ring, it was Gorilla Savage and Art Donovan, and then for SummerSlam, I think JR was gone by SummerSlam. Of that year. So he only did those 2 pay-per-views on TV, King of the Ring and Mania that year, which is weird. So now we've actually get something. There it is. Mercifully, this match is starting to get a fucking move on. And Keith, he was in the ring and didn't stop it. It's just bad. Like, and that was Bruce, by the way. And Bruce knows he botched it. He was staring right at the dude. He was in the ring and staring right at the dude. He should have hit him. He should have done something. He absolutely should have done something. This whole thing is botched. So now the referee's going to the outside to help cultivate this schmaz. JR was let go. Yes, he was. JR was let go, I want to say in late 94. And I think he went back to WCW. No, he did some shit for Corny. He did some shit for Cornette down in Smoky Mountain. He worked at Smoky Mountain for a while. I think he did WCW again for a hot minute. But, yeah, he was let go. He was let go in, like, early 94, and then brought back in 96, and that's when we... And, by the way, he was let go after that, too. He was let go in, 2000-something or other. JR's been fired a few times from WWF. As he was in that company, he was fired a few times. And he was like, he was the cause of a lot of people's grief, a lot of wrestlers' grief backstage, because JR pulled some backstage shenanigans, or at least was the hatchet man for a lot of backstage shenanigans. But he brought a lot of guys in too. Oh, JR got fired, sure did. So now we got Bret and Shawn, the stars of this show, even though Shawn Michaels. And again, at the time, it made no... This was before the internet, or this was at the time that the internet was becoming a thing, but we didn't know... There was... What? To get information on wrestling? Like, what are you talking... Like, there's no way to get information on wrestling. For health reasons... Partially for health reasons, but, I think there was something else, too. I think it was, money... No, it was also... He was unhappy. Because he got switched over to Raw. He didn't like being on Raw. Or SmackDown. He didn't like being on SmackDown. He didn't like being on SmackDown at all. And I think he got partnered with Matt Striker. And he hated that too. It was a couple reasons. It wasn't just health. It was a couple. There was once where he did legitimately take a sabbatical / was let go, whatever, mutual decision because of health. But there was something, and I think that was before this, there was something also where he wasn't happy where he was. So he left. Now that might have been the last time he was there. Whatever that period was, however many years ago that was. So now Shawn and Bret trying to liven this thing up. Here comes Greg the Hammer Valentine again. That was a headbutt right to the lower abdomen. Look at the outside leg, only got a 2 count. Bret the Hitman Hart now with his hair squarely in the heads of the Hammer. Hammer now over to the corner, burying those shoulders now. I mean, if you know what Greg the Hammer Valentine looks like, it really doesn't take much to know that Greg the Hammer Valentine is the Blue Knight. And I'm actually surprised they didn't make him the red one, but maybe the costume didn't fit. And no one told him he was going to be drafted. Yeah, that was the other... Yeah, exactly. No one told him he was going to be drafted over to SmackDown. He didn't want to... Yeah, it was... Yeah, right. It was... Yeah. After all those years, JR left on bad terms, or had some bad terms happen to him, and that's why he ended up leaving, which in a lot of guys' eyes is ironic if you listen to some of their stories about him. Here comes Owen Hart now in on the Hammer. And again, we're nowhere near the end of this match. Nowhere near the end of this match. The match is not over yet. Big elbow from the middle rope. Shawn Michaels tries to come back in to interfere once again. Here comes Keith again for no goddamn reason. Or is that Bruce? Bruce again for no goddamn reason. Shawn Michaels just took a shot from old Stu. Big splash on the outside. from Owen. Now, see, that's a spot that needed to be done. Bruce needs to get out of the fucking way. Bruce, it's a long. It's way too long. This match is entirely too long, especially for the level of talent that's in it. Yes, you have Shawn Michaels. Yes, you have Owen Hart. And yes, you have Greg the Hammer Valentine. But you have an old Greg the Hammer Valentine who at this point is well past his prime. You have a Barry Horowitz who is nowhere near his prime. You have a huge bank robbing jobber. And you have two guys who used to compete at their father's organization at this point probably 10 to 15 years prior who don't know how to fucking walk in the ring. It didn't need to be this long. It didn't need to be this long. It so didn't need to be this long. And then especially for it to follow that really good Intercontinental Championship or Intercontinental Division match. It didn't need to be this long at all. By the way, if you want a really good wrestling match, look up Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, 1993. That's all you need. Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, 1993. It's Owen Hart in the blue tights. They have a hell of a fucking match. Hell of a fucking match for the Intercontinental Championship. Way better than this match. This match is far too long. Here comes Bruce again. Again, when he doesn't need to be there. I don't know if this is the longest match on the pay-per-view. I'd have to wiki it. I almost don't want to. But I will. It certainly feels like the longest match. If it's not longer than the main event, it fucking feels like it's longer than the main event. Actually, yes, this is the longest match on the card, and it doesn't need to be this long. Oh god, it doesn't need to be this long. With this level of talent, it goddamn doesn't need to be this long. And by the way, they should have thought about this before they booked this match. Before they booked this damn match, they should have thought about this. They knew that they couldn't get the British Bulldog in, which would have been the best thing for it. For whatever reason, they couldn't get Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which I'm not sure where the hell the Neidhart was at this point. But they damn sure couldn't get Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So this match didn't mean shit. And especially considering that leading up to this, we didn't see Bruce and Keith in the ring. Which was probably a good thing because it would have shown how much they sucked. But they didn't have any time in there to prepare. They didn't have any time in there to train or for us to get to know who the hell they were. So why the hell would we care about them? We barely knew who Owen Hart was at this point. The only thing we cared about in this match was Bret Hart. And then they threw Shawn Michaels into the last minute. It damn sure didn't need to be as long as this match is. And this match is a little long. Compare this to the 91 Survivor Series where there was a whole bunch of schmozz-ass matches. A whole bunch of super short smodge-ass matches. This match didn't need to be as long as it is. Terrible. Terrible. This match is terrible. Too long. It's terrible how long this match is. Terrible. Just terrible. What were they thinking with this match? I don't know. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this match. I would imagine what they wanted to do was bring back Bulldog and or Neidhart. I would imagine that's what they wanted to do for this. But they couldn't for whatever reason. And I would imagine it had to be contract. Because Bulldog and Neidhart both came back less than a year later. Less than a year later. So that meant they had to have been in talks to come back at least a month or two before. So I don't know what the holdup was. I know Bulldog was over in WCW. I know that because he was in the Fall Brawl that year in WCW. I know he was, and that was the Shockmaster year. I know that. I don't know where Neidhart was. I guess I'd have to look it up. I don't know where Neidhart was in 93. But Oh wait, no, Neidhart came back in at that King of the Ring, the greatest King of the Ring that I mentioned. Neidhart came back in that King of the Ring, so they had to be in talks with Neidhart to come back probably around WrestleMania. Somewhere between WrestleMania and King of the Ring, they had to be in talks with Neidhart. So I would imagine he had to wrap up. He probably had to wrap up some obligations and some bookings somewhere else, probably in Japan or something like that. But then that leaves this fucking hole in the match. Well, Keith and Bruce used to wrestle. Used to, 10 years ago. Bad. This is not. By the way, I wouldn't even necessarily say this was the worst match on the card. It's the longest, but I don't even know if it was the worst match. But there are also some really good moments and some really interesting moments in this, which is why I decided to cover it. I knew that we would have to get through this one. Sorry. But we'll survive. You know what I'm saying? Owen Hart's just been eliminated. Keith now noggin knocks with Shawn Michaels, who's the last member of his team. He's battling on from 4-1 odds now down to 3-1 odds. Keith needs to make a tad. So much padding in this match. This is, I don't know how many double downs this match has had or what. Here comes Keith now again, firing in on Shawn Michaels, and it's not even like Keith can't get the fucking abdominal stretch on Shawn Michaels. It's not like people were anticipating, were in such great anticipation of Bret Hart beating the snot out of Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels at this point and Bret Hart hadn't had any interaction with each other in a year. In a year. Now imagine the padding this match with this much padding with Jerry the King Lawler, who, although I think in '93 he was better than he would be in '94. I think he still had some some gas left in the tank. Anyway, I did that little corner gimmick I stole that in one of my favorite matches I had with Mike Callahan, who went on to be Mikey O'Shea in Mach 1 Wrestling. And now Shawn Michaels is going to take a hike. Bruce, the whole story of this match is stay in the fucking corner, Bruce. Bruce, I don't think anybody wants to talk about this match. I don't think anybody wants to talk. You're right. I don't think Shawn would want to talk about this match. I don't think anybody would want to talk about this match. I certainly don't think Bruce and Keith would want to talk about this match. I certainly don't think any of the Bruce or Keith would want to talk about this match. However, it's a pivotal moment. Why? Because here comes Owen back out. Here comes Owen back out to celebrate with his family here. And Owen pulls Bret down off the turnbuckle. And look at this now. Look at this now. Oh, boy. Oh, there's some dissension in the family. This is going to set the WWF up for the next, honestly, 2.5, 3 years. This is going to set them up for the next almost 3 years. Yeah, this is going to set them up for the next 4 years. This right here is going to set the WWF up for the next 4 years until the Montreal Screwjob. This is going to set them up for the next 4 years. This thing right here, this bit of business right here, where Owen finally decides, hey, nobody came to come check on me. Nobody came to ask how I was feeling. Nobody even saw me leave the ringside area. Everybody was concerned about Bret. Everybody was concerned about Bret. What about me? I'm the one who took the loss. You ended up with the win. How about me? How about my efforts in this match? Oh, I can't be consoled. You leave me alone, Keith. Woo! And there's Owen Hart up on the turnbuckle, and that's when the heel turn kind of set in. Now Owen and Stu are having a confab. And there's Helen crying. Helen in with the waterworks. Helen was good with those waterworks. And the next year she'll be really good and really pivotal. And we'll take a look at that at some point. There's Renee Goulet, another Canadian wrestler who turned into an agent. As Bret, Keith, and Bruce walk away. Owen now selling this whole thing. This is a pivotal moment. This is a absolute pivotal moment in terms of the Federation and the Harts right here. Yeah, and as you're watching here live with me, sorry about that, but that was a pivotal moment. You needed to see that. That set the Federation up for really the next 4 years. It was one of those moments that absolutely had to happen out of the ashes of that long, boring ass fucking match. That had to happen. Oh my god! And Keith, if Bruce was the one without the stash. I keep wanting to say Bruce was the one with the stash because that looks like a Bruce stash. It looks like a stash that a guy named Bruce would have. That doesn't look like a stash that a guy named Keith would have. Anyway, we needed that to happen. WWF needed that to happen. So Pettengill, I didn't even know Pettengill was on the show in '93. I guess he was. Yeah, I guess he was. Because let's see, '93. He came onto the scene. I want to say he came onto the scene sometime around SummerSlam '93-ish. Uh-oh, there's Gorilla with the brain. Is Gorilla's gonna sock the brain. Monsoon is gonna give it to the brain right here. Yeah, this is leading up to the brains. this is leading up to the brain getting yeah, that's leading up to the brain getting tossed out. That's leading up to the brain getting tossed out of Survivor Series. I'm wondering if we should just go ahead and skip. We can. You want to skip with me? Let's see if there's a promo that comes up before we skip ahead. I'm pretty sure there has to be a promo that comes up, right? So the brain now. So the brain and Vince, I think, are going off to radio WWF. So the All-Americans and the Foreign Fanatics up against each other, and we're seeing all the stuff that led up to it. Go ahead, I'll be here. I really want to skip this. And it's my show, so we're going to go ahead and skip this. Go ahead and click that button that gets you over to the next event, starting right now. And wait, it clicked over there, but we didn't go. And click yes, starting right. Wait, go back. And starting right now. Okay, so now is where in the timeline where we're going to see the Heavenly Bodies match. James E. Cornette, one of the greatest managers of all time, with the Heavenly Bodies versus the Rock and Roll Express in 1993. Someone thought this was a good idea. I don't know who, but someone thought this was a good idea. So hot they had to come in a plain brown wrap. By the way, their theme song stolen from Greg the Hammer Valentine and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Like WW have used this theme song quite a fucking bit, and thought nobody would notice. And guess what? We really didn't. Not until the internet age. By the way, Dr. Tom Pritchard would go on to cause would be another person to go on to cause a lot of people a lot of fucking headaches in the back. Or the Pritchard family would. Namely Bruce, who still can't understand that So clearly the Rock and Roll Express came out to like an actual rock and roll song, because it's not playing now. They're playing some generic rock shit and some Howard Finkel from WWE 2K. I had to put them down. Clearly they came out to some licensed song that can't be played. So anyway, this match is strictly for people in Tennessee. I can't see why anybody would give a damn about this match in 1993. The Rock and Roll Express are no longer young teeny bopping heartthrobs. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, jeez, all right, we all, come on now, let's, get that in the hard way together, come on now, and here comes, there we go, that's, rock and roll, 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 Ricky and Robert, boy, I've had this explained. One of my biggest gripes with the Rock and Roll Express, probably, matter of fact, my only gripe with the Rock and Roll Express, has always been why anybody in the South thought that they were heartthrobs. Somebody broke it down to me and explained that it was really, I think it was Ricky is the blonde? Is Ricky the blonde? Hold on. Yeah, Ricky the blonde at the time in the early 80s. When I say early 80s, I mean early 80s, because he was about 30 then. He was the one that was kind of seen as the heartthrob, even though Bobby was there too. But Bobby was there too because Bobby has had himself quite the lazy eye. His eye is quite lazy. So, I was always like, they were seen as heartthrobs in the South, like the teeny boppers in the southern states were that hard up for cock that they were seen as heartthrobs. Like, really? And then these Heavenly Body guys, I mean, I guess their gimmick, I know, their gimmick was that they were good-looking guys with the sleazy-looking guys who thought they were better looking than they were. I honestly never gave a damn about the Heavenly Bodies as a team. Like, I didn't even see them as good enough to hate. Like, they were just on the show. Oh boy, that was a miss. That was a badly timed leapfrog there by Ricky Morton. This is the bugs weren't worked out of this one. This is another almost filler match that I can't imagine anybody in the audience gave a damn about. Matter of fact, I saw some people leaving for the concession stands. I can't imagine a whole lot of people. First of all, I think at this point we had only seen the Heavenly Bodies on TV maybe once or twice. I think they did something at SummerSlam. I think they were involved in like an 8-man or something. And there's the rowboat gimmick they did with their legs, stretching them out, like whatever. I can't. Let me turn it up at least a little bit so I can see if the crowd gives a damn. I don't think the crowd gives a damn at this point either about this match. But here comes Bobby Gibson coming in there, flying in, and there's a hook of that leg with his foot on the other leg. Look at that ankle. He's got that ankle of Dr. Tom Pritchard torqued. Now, it's interesting because it looks like Rock and Roll Express actually did have a shorthand. Like, they actually did have, like, some sign language that they would use, and they had some shorthand. But again, we're talking about at this point guys who are approaching 40. Like, super approaching 40. So they ain't the kids anymore that they may or may not have, used to have been. Still wearing the Rockers tassels. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, when I saw them for the first time, this was the pay-per-view I saw them for the first time, and I ended up seeing the tape. And at first, the first thing I saw them in was in the magazine, and I'm like, who are these old guys dressed up like the Rockers? Like, that was my 8-year-old. I'm like, I know what the Rockers are. It's Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. They already wrestled. Who are these old guys dressed? Are these the Rockers' fathers? Like, who are these old guys dressing up like the Rockers? And this is another match given far too much time, I feel like. Good tag team maneuver there. I almost want to say that they perfected, where one of their guys, that thing where I'll protect you from the turnbuckle, and then that backfires on them, and then here we go, do-si-do, through the, something happened, somebody didn't, alright. There's a whole lot of people missing spots in these last two matches, between with a lot of guys who probably shouldn't be in that ring anymore at this point. Like, probably, I know, and by the way, I know Cornette had to be the one who pushed for this match. This is a Smoky Mountain Tag Team Championship match. Of course it was. So it was interesting. WWF at this point was in bed with at least two other companies. So they were in bed with Jerry Lawler's company down in Tennessee, at least until the accusation that Jerry Lawler was in bed with a 14-year-old. And they were in bed with Smoky Mountain, at least on some semblance of a friendly basis. The Undertaker went down there. Same way Bret Hart went to Tennessee. Like, they traded guys every once in a while. There's a power bomb, a sit-out by Dr. Tom, and that should have done it, but he didn't cover him. He moved him away from the cover. What kind of sense does that make? We're talking about psychology. Joe Cornette's a big guy in psychology. What the hell kind of sense did that make? that should have been the end of that match. So now people are coming back from the concession stand. They see that this match is still going. Like, unbelievably, this match is still going. Jimmy Del Rey and Tom Pritchard now working on Ricky Morton. Brother Ricky. Pretty Ricky is not what they call him. Tossing Ricky to the outside through the middle rope, and here comes James E. Cornette now to work on Ricky, to work Ricky Morton over, but to hold him for the moonsault by Jimmy Del Rey. That should do it. Cover that man. Let's mercifully end this, but it won't. This match is, again, another match that's still going, that shouldn't still be going. That should not still be going. It's funny, because there's another match that's coming up that some people have said was one of the worst matches in Survivor Series history. Compared to these two, no, it wasn't. Not even a little bit. It was actually halfway entertaining, and again, would help lead to more shit down the line. So this match actually would help lead to Kane, indirectly, because Vince's connection with Smoky Mountain, Kane was down there in Smoky Mountain. Yes, he was. He was the Christmas monster down there. Yes, he was. He came in as Isaac Yankem DDS a little over a year later. Yes, he did. And that's where he got noticed. A lot of people thought that he was one of the Knights. He wasn't one of the Knights. But he was Isaac Yankem DDS, and he was down south in Smoky Mountain. That's how this whole thing happened. So if this match doesn't give you nothing else, be thankful that this match happened. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have Katie Vick. I mean, the Big Red Machine King. So, quite a few finishing moves have happened to guys no one in this particular audience gives a shit about. I don't even think this match was advertised. I don't even think this match... I'm pretty sure this match wasn't even advertised. That's how little either time they had or knew what was going on. Right now, Mario fanboy, we are... that should do it. 1, 2... No. Right now, we're in the middle of the Smoky Mountain match. That's the Heavenly Bodies versus the Rock and Roll Express. We are 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 15 seconds now into this matchup. And there's a power bomb into a Hurricane Rana by Ricky, who... some botches... But the biggest problem with this match, no one in this crowd gives a damn about these people because this is one of the first times, if not the first time, you're seeing most of these guys. And, or at least the Rock and Roll Express. I think we may have seen the Heavenly Bodies before in this. Alright. I think we may have seen the Heavenly Bodies before. I'm pretty sure they were on SummerSlam that year. But, they didn't really impress anybody, I don't think. I don't really think they impressed anybody. Moonsault coming, yes it is, and that one's actually executed relatively well. 1, 2, and there's a kick. Oh, right to the back of the head. Jesus, talk about Concussion City. Concussion City! Holy cow! Holy cow! Double DDT by Ricky, who has been in there forever. It feels like an hour and 45 minutes into this match. No, an hour and 45 minutes into the show is where we are. And I think it's wrapping up now. Because here comes Bobby to clean up. Del Rey just takes a back body drop. Here comes Tom Pritchard. Gets a boot to the gut into an enziguri. That could do it, but Del Rey's in the ring, and referee, late great Joey Morella, can't keep track of this one. And now here comes Ricky back. In Ricky, Jimmy. Look, if this ain't Southern, I don't know what is. Ricky, Jimmy, Tommy, Bobby, Ricky, Bobby, Tommy, Jimmy, Jimmy, Tommy, Bobby, Jimmy, Tommy, Tommy, Bobby, Jimmy, Jimmy, Tommy, Bobby, 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 Jimmy, Tommy. But they did they tried to do the over-the-top rope disqualification shit in WWF in 1993, where that rule hadn't been a fucking thing for, like, I don't know, 40 years? Get the fuck out of here. I don't even know if at this point it was even a rule in WCW. Good lord. Double drop kick. And by the way, if it's for the Smoky Mountain belt, it should be contested under the Smoky Mountain rules. I think it was for the Smoky Mountain belt. I think it's for the Smoky Mountain belt, by the way. Mercifully, this is over. So it is for the Smoky Mountain titles. No one gives a shit. What's going on, RPS? So those are for the Smoky Mountain Tag Team Championships, which, by the way, don't look bad. Like they're decent championship belt. They're decent looking belts. But if it's for the Smoky Mountain titles, why the hell wouldn't it be competing under Smoky Mountain rules? Why wouldn't it be under Smoky Mountain rules if it's Smoky Mountain title? Just because it's in WWF? That doesn't make any sense. Oh. Oh. Oh, fuck. Fuckity, fuck. Alright, we're finally going to get to some halfway better matches as we're watching this. Alright, this is back before the production, the video packages beforehand were all that good. By the way, you're talking about pay-per-views not being on certain days. Remember, Survivor Series used to be on Thanksgiving or the day before. Yeah, no, not a problem, RPS. We're watching a classic Survivor Series. We're watching Survivor Series 1993, which is an interesting one. We're going over some of the matches. I'm watching it on the network. If you want to catch up and you want to watch it on the network, I'll go ahead and wait. I won't skip ahead. We're about to get into the Doink the Clown, the 4 Doinks versus Bam Bam's team match. So that's about that's going to happen soon. Like they're doing the promo for it first. So it's Headshrinkers in a Survivor Series elimination match is the point you want to get to. If you want to hurry up and hop onto the network and join us, you can. We're almost at that particular point. This match is actually probably a welcome match, considering that so far the pay-per-view has been... did I say it was a good one? I know I said it was interesting. I don't know that I said it was good. It was absolutely interesting. The first match, I know I said the first match was really good, and the first match was really good. This match actually isn't terrible. This next match is actually given a lot of shit because of the gimmicks involved, but it's not bad, especially considering what we've also seen. And the main event is also really good too. So you've got some bad matches that went on far too long, and you've got some matches that are actually pretty good. This one is actually pretty good. So we're about to we're about to get into the Headshrinkers in a Survivor Series elimination match. If you wanna hop on, if you're looking for a minute mark, I'm a 1 hour 50 minutes and 7 seconds. Right then, as I said, 7. So here we come. Yeah, so it's the start of that. You want to go ahead and hop on. Bam Bam Bigelow with Bash and Booger and the Headshrinkers. This is probably the only team you could assemble that made a whole lot of sense. Like, this is actually, if you look at it on paper, this Survivor Series, at least the way it was originally booked, makes sense. You had the first one with all the Intercontinental division, the entire Intercontinental division in it, which is a really good match. You had the Harts versus what was supposed to be Jerry the King Lawler and 3 Knights. They slipped up with the booking of the Knights. They slipped up with getting Keith and Bruce in there and probably no wrestling time. Like, they probably, because they had day jobs, so they probably didn't get really any time in the ring or in the gym to bulk up, in the ring to roll around again, to remember how to do the shit. But on paper, decent, fine, you're fine with that. The Smoky Mountain match, I don't think was advertised. You had the 4 Doinks, you had the mystery there versus Bam Bam and his team. You had the All-Americans versus the Foreign Fanatics, which again on paper looked like a great match in 93. But shit happens. So in this match, I don't know if Doink got a pay-per-view check for this one. This is, by the way, I believe is the second Doink. I think Matt Bourne had already left by this point. I think this one is, who's the other Doink? Which Doink is this? This is, was it still Matt Bourne? So, let's see. Doink and Dink also bound. In December of 93. All right, so this was still Matt Bourne. Yeah, here it is. Left in December 93. So this is still Matt Bourne. At least in this particular incarnation. So I wonder if he got a pay-per-view check for this. That would be interesting. But this match is not as bad as it... By the way, Mabel was over. You don't believe that Big Daddy V was over. You don't believe that Viscera was ever over. But he was. He was over. And I have a feeling that this is kind of the point where he thinks about turning around and maybe doing a little bit more in the ring. This is about the time that he starts splitting off from Oscar so much and having more singles matches about this time. Now, they do end up going on to WrestleMania 10 to compete for the tag team titles. They had an unrecognized until later, much later, tag team run that was an accident. I think Mabel didn't get off of Pierre fast enough. Like, he legit didn't get off of him and kick out. And the belt was just awarded to the Quebecers. Or something. Yeah. This match is not horrible. Look at the personnel you have in this match. You have, look at the personnel you have in this match. You have, first off, on the outside, you have the legendary Luna Vachon. You have the legendary Afa of the Wild Samoans. You have Fatu and Samu. By the way, the Headshrinkers Fatu and Samu, that pairing was amazing. That pairing does not get the credit it deserves. Fuck Sione. When they added Sione, they killed that gimmick. But Fatu and Samu as a team, they were great. They were great. You have Fatu. How about Rikishi in there as a Wild Samoan? You've got some hitters in this match. Luke and Butch, it's my understanding that their matches before they were the Headshrinker or before they were the Bushwhackers, when they were the Sheep Herders or whatever, were really good. I need to go look those up. But yeah. This match is not a bad match. This match is really not. It's an entertaining match, and we're about to get into it right here. I'm trying to look up what happened to Samu. I think Samu. What happened to him? He got injured or something. Excuse me. So I'm not. Vince loved guys who, if you saw them in the airport, you were like, they took your breath away. They're like, who's that guy? Like, and Mabel was that guy. Mabel was 500 pounds. He was that guy. Now, I'm surprised that Mabel was able to keep his weight in check enough to compete enough in WWF enough for as long as he did. Although I think that's part of the reason why they canned him in 95 was because he might have started ballooning up the same way Yokozuna did in 96. So, their run with the titles came to an end, sprouting into a momentum, but title changed hands soon after the title change. Samu had injuries, is what happened. So Samu left to recover from injuries. Samu returned to the WWF in '95, and a team known as the Samoan Gangster Party, with Samu known as Sammy the Silk. Big Matty Smalls, the 2-minute not wrestle for the WWF, but watch Fatu from afar. Oh, that's right. That's right, because Fatu was doing this anyway. So, there goes Samu. Samu just took a balloon to the face with water or something. While I'm educating the party people on what the hell happened to Samu. Anyway, big headbutt down on Fatu by, I believe that's Luke in there. Of course, Samu's a Samoan. Headbutts don't work on them. But he's going to set him up, front face lock. Textbook suplex nailed by Fatu. Headbutt down, that one scores by Fatu. Onto, I think that's cousin Luke again, if my memory serves. I don't think it was over anymore. They didn't need him. Yeah, let him go. They didn't fucking need him in 2008. And I also think it might have been health too. I think, if memory serves me correctly, it had something to do with his health. I think it was he was gaining weight again or something. Slash they probably just cut him just to cut him. Like they didn't need him anymore. He wasn't doing anything. There you go. All right, that's what the whole thing's about. Thank you, RPS. We're watching tag off to the captain of the team, Bam Bam Bigelow now. Coming there with his part-time tag team partner, Bash and Booger. Bash and Booger and Bam Bam Bigelow, if you read the PWI magazines, which I did in 93, were like the second or third ranked tag team in the WWF for a period of time. They really were. Because the tag team division there, you had the Bushwhackers, who were barely on TV. You had the Headshrinkers, who were sometimes on TV. You had, they were on TV. You had Men on a Mission and the Quebecers. The Steiner brothers were on their way out, so they were gone pretty soon. So, actually, the Bushwhackers were gone pretty soon after this, too. So, yeah, you had a tag team division, but you didn't. You did, but you didn't. That's a sort of a, not a scoop slam, but a weak slam here. And this is where they coined the phrase trip to the Batcave. Because the brain just said trip to the Batcave. I don't think that's what that move was called. I'm pretty sure he just did the move. I don't think it had a name. So now Bash and Booger got up in order to go get a banana from the corner to add a little extra weight. By the way, Bash and Booger, he's about to go down again. Nobody's home, which is apparently supposed to hurt his butt, but it doesn't. There's a battering ram, sends Bash and Booger down, and here comes the big man. Bye-bye. You don't get up from that. Bash and Booger was an interesting case. Here's a bit of trivia about Bash and Booger. He lost his first televised match. Something like that, fanboy, yes. Bash and Booger lost his first match on television to Virgil. That's right, to Olive Garden Virgil. That's right, to fuck money Virgil. To wrestling superstar Virgil. Bash and Booger lost his first televised match. How about that? What's going on, Nadja? We're sitting here watching this pay-per-view. Looks like cousin Luke's getting entranced by that turkey and just got a turkey upside the skull. By Fatu now. And again with that turkey carcass, which is a foreign weapon, ref. Like, there are bones and stuff in there. Like, you can go ahead and you can disqualify Fatu for that if you wanna. But then again, at that point, why not disqualify Mo for coming into the ring with a scooter, which is another weapon? Everybody's watching me, Mario fanboy. You now knows what's up. They might want to be checking to make sure I'm not actually like streaming the pay-per-view, though, or streaming some content that's not mine, right? So, I'm not. Trust me, because on YouTube that shit'll get struck down in a heartbeat. There's a drop kick to the back of Mo for all he's done in this match, and that scooter is gone. And Bam Bam's done with all this playing around. That is a huge slam by Fatu, as Mo did not want to get light at all. Now that was an interesting placement of that banana peel, which is going to play a part in this match a little bit later. It's stuff like this. Look at the placement of stuff. Boom! Great splash there. I love the Headshrinker splash. I've always loved the Headshrinker splash. No, Bam Bam is not a fan of the scooter. And now again, here we go. And Fatu literally slips on a banana peel, and that's how he's gone from the match. Meanwhile, cousin Luke, that turkey carcass to the head busted him open. Legit busted him open. You can see the blood coming up through the mask. It legit busted him open. He caught a bone. And here comes Butch now. He's catching headbutts. And here comes Mo now to possibly try to clean up, but no, catches a boot to the gut for his trouble. Irish whip now, north to south. Big clothesline, down goes Bam Bam. And out goes Mo. And Bam Bam Bigelow has cleaned house. He's going 1-on-4 with every member of this team except Mabel. Except Big Mabel. I wonder if those guys still... I wonder if... Is Mo still with us? I don't even know if Mo... I think Mo may have died. I think Mo may be gone. I wonder if the Bushwhackers still have those doink masks. Yeah, Mo's still with us. Mo's still alive. Big shoulder block coming again. Ducks underneath that right hand. North to south again. There's a big shoulder block on Bam Bam down. This, by the way, would not be the last Survivor Series match that these two would compete against each other in. They would do it again 2 years later. 1 year later at Survivor Series 1994. Here comes Mabel. Big freight train. Look at this. Look at the speed he gets on that, but he knocks the wind right out of himself. as Bam Bam Bigelow now is going to try to capitalize east to west now. Big shoulder block. Mabel goes down. And here comes Cousin Butch again on Bam Bam Bigelow. He gets a power slam for his trouble. Meanwhile, Luna Vachon just caught something on the outside. Bush just threw something at Luna, and there's a club sandwich in on Bam Bam Bigelow in that corner. And the referee has lost all kinds of control of this match. I'm pretty sure those aren't the legal men. All four on top of him. Hell, why not? 2 and 3. By the way, if you're keeping count, that's half a ton of humanity on top of Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow's no small boy. They have him billed at 360 pounds here. He's probably closer to 400. Actually, he might. Looks like he slimmed down a bit from King of the Ring, where he was billed at 400. So he probably is a legit 360. So you're looking at Mabel's at 500. Mo, Mo was billed at, looks like 285. The Bushwhackers, I think, were billed at a total combined weight of about 500. So you're looking at that's 1,000 pounds, right? That's 1,000, almost 1,500 pounds. that's really close to a fucking ton. He really did try to crush Bam Bam Bigelow. And see? Do you believe me now when I tell you that this match was far better than the other two matches that we just saw? That, by the way, this didn't seem as long, did it? Because it wasn't as long. I'm pretty sure this match was like, what, maybe 15 minutes? They told the story that they needed to tell. They didn't need to tell a long-ass story. They need to go at it for 82 fucking minutes. They told the story that they needed to tell. They were in there for 10 minutes. In and out, bell to bell, they were in there for 10 minutes. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. That's quite literally all they needed. So, all right, let's do the math here. The Bushwhackers were total combined weight. Total combined weight. They were billed at 500. So yeah, 500, almost about 1,500 pounds. Almost 1,500 pounds on top of Bam Bam Bigelow. 1,300 to be precise. Oh, I missed that comment, by the way. The last one, I think it was Mario Fanboy who posted it. I was talking about the weight and I missed it. Whoa! Yay! I wonder if Doink got a check for this one. Because he technically didn't have to be in the building. Like he could have taped this at the last taping, whenever it was, however many weeks before this. Doink Mo and Doink Mabel. The first one died. The first and the best. This one that we're watching here live, according to Wikipedia, Matt Osborne, aka Matt Bourne. Go find Matt Bourne in ECW. Go find Matt Bourne in ECW. Matter of fact, go find Doink's heel stuff. Go Doink versus Mr. Perfect. That's all I'm going to tell you. Doink versus Mr. Perfect. They had 3 matches. All of them were amazing. All of them. Now we're here on a promo here. Todd Pettengill with the ear. Is that earring in the correct ear there? I don't know if you can tell. So this is another match that we're going into. This is the final match of the night. This is the main event of the evening. This is yet another match that brought itself together by fucking replacements. Yeah, he does. Well, you gotta think. Again, Bam Bam was a big boy. Bam Bam was a big boy. Bam Bam was even at I think his lightest was 360. And he was built at 400 for a long time. I'm pretty sure he was... Hold on, Jim Cornette's talking. Jim Cornette is one of the greatest talkers of all time. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. I love me some Jim Cornette, boy. I love me some Jim Cornette. I love me some Jim Cornette. So this is another match set up by weird ass fucking circumstances. On paper, the initial incarnation of this match looked amazing. The Foreign Fanatics were, well, at least looked really good. The Foreign Fanatics were the Quebecers, which everybody, like, legitimately, you couldn't deny that the Quebecers were a hell of a tag team. I don't care whether you were a mark or not, whether you believed it was real or not. You couldn't deny that the fucking Quebecers were a legit tag team with legit talent. You had Ludvig Borga, who was billed to be bigger and better than he was. Ludvig Borga was a fucking waste of money, time, and talent. And I say talent because they fed... Alright, are we back again? Another fucking phone call. These people who call me. I can't understand people who call. People who fucking call. Anyway, it looks like it's still trying to buffer me back in, but I'm pretty sure I'm here. Anyway, yeah, this is another matchup of, this is another matchup of motherfuckers who, of replacements. Back again? Okay, good. So we're gonna, by the way, if you're watching, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the official start of this match on the network. So on that little white dot, Undertaker in a Survivor Series match. If you go back there to that little white dot, Undertaker in a Survivor Series match, and you click play, starting right now. Okay. Ludvig Borga comes back out. Now, Ludvig Borga, like I said, a waste of time and talent. And when I say talent, they fed Marty Jannetty to him. They fed Tatanka to him. Just fed them to him when they didn't have to. And they absolutely shouldn't have fed them to him. Like, for what? This guy is not impressive. There's nothing about this guy that's impressive. He's not impressive on the mic. He doesn't have an impressive body. His skills in the ring were whatever. Oh, sorry. Wait, am I still on the loading thing, or are you still loading? Is the feed still loading? I can see the little spinning thing on my screen. On this screen that I'm looking at right here. Fucking phone calls. Fucking phone calls. Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? What? What did I ever do to you? Why are you calling me? Yeah, I don't know what the hell they saw in Ludvig Borga. I don't know. Anyway, they had him at least kayfabe eliminate Tatanka from the mix, and in his undefeated streak. They didn't need to do. They need to do both. They didn't need to do both. They sure as fuck didn't need to do both. Anyway, which didn't amount to anything because Ludvig Borga would end up breaking his ankle and ending his fucking career before he was able to get Tatanka to. Yeah, I see the spinning thing too. That's weird, but we can still talk to each other, so I'm guessing I'm still streaming. Anyway, but yeah, they didn't. Tatanka didn't. They didn't need to feed that to Tatanka, especially since Tatanka wasn't able to get his retribution from him at Royal Rumble because his career ended not too long after this. So Tatanka was eliminated at least kayfabe from this match, but on paper it looks great because you had Lex Luger, the Steiner brothers, and Tatanka. That's your All-American team right there. Sure, I'm on board with that. Even considering that Tatanka's probably not a, I don't know how much he is willing to celebrate Thanksgiving, but all right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. And Tatanka was over like a motherfucker too. It was over like a motherfucker. I was looking forward, in retrospect, to Tatanka's first main event on pay-per-view. He would get it about a year and a half later with the $1 Million Corporation, but it wasn't the same because his in-ring work wasn't the same, and he sure as hell wasn't as over as a heel as he was as a face. But you had the heavyweight champion Yokozuna. So what ends up happening is they end up having Lex Luger kayfabe eliminate Pierre, the Quebecer Pierre from the Foreign Fanatics mix, bringing in Crush, who had nothing to do and had just turned heel on Randy Savage. Might be. I would imagine it is. I would imagine it is. But he did compete. Yeah, I would imagine it is. I would imagine it is. I wonder what it was like competing on all those Raws on Columbus Day, too. Anyway. So they end up having Lex Luger kayfabe eliminate Pierre. So now that team is fractured, too. And then Lex Luger brings on The Undertaker, who at that point had nothing to do. And the Foreign Fanatics bring on Crush, who at that point had nothing to do. So at least what happens is now the main event has more star power than it had before because even then they knew Lex Luger wasn't star power enough to carry this main event by himself. But like I like Tatanka in that mix though. Like I almost feel like just throw Undertaker and Crush in the ring against each other. Then if that's what you want to do, just have a regular one-on-one match between the guys. Why the fuck not? Like shit. Or kayfabe some shit. I don't know. Kayfabe some shit where Taker for some reason joins the Hart clan. I don't know. If that's like I don't know, if you want to do something with him, do something with him. Have Doink hire him as one of the Doinks. Like don't have him in the makeup, but just have him holding the mask. Have him in the corner holding the mask while his other 3 team members are actually wearing it when he just holds it. He just has it in his hand. Anyway. So now you have this match with the Foreign Fanatics. A fractured Foreign Fanatics versus a fractured All-American team. Including the Steiner brothers who were red hot at this particular point. But were on their way out. The Steiners were on their way out. They were on their way back to WCW super, super shortly. Right? I mean, this Survivor Series, this kind of patchwork Survivor Series that they ended up throwing together, I mean, it happened. The show went off relatively without a hitch, without a too big a hitch, but it, or up until basically the week of the pay-per-view, Savage wasn't doing shit. Why not throw Savage in the All-American team? I mean, but because they weren't doing anything with Savage, like, almost at all. Like, that's why. But, Ugh! No! I said no for a reason, damn it. I hung up on you for a reason. So, I don't know if you can still hear me. I'm still here. The clock is still ticking on the streamy thing. I'm trying to get you now up and going, but it ain't up and going. Too many fucking interferences with the phone calls and everything. Ugh. Let's try it again. See if I can get it up the long way. Hashtag phrasing. Yeah, good. I'm glad that I'm able to be heard. Now I'm working on being able to be seen.
Oh my god, my head was just on fire. I just smelled burnt hairs.
Yeah, that's Dan Hill.
Got a new method of how to start a fire inside of a fort.
Alright, bye Dan Hill. Alright. So, Survivor. Like, seriously, I'm at the end of the damn pay-per-view. It's been a long pay-per-view. I just want to finish it up. Alright, so here we go. Go live again. Baby, come on, little spinny thing. On the thing. There it is. There it is. And now it's spinning again. Spinning like a top. Spinning like a top, baby. Woo! Alright. Now it's gone. Alright, so here we go. I had to pause it to try to get back to you. If you can, fucking phone. Who calls somebody in 2016? Fucking just text. Anyway, 2 hours, 17 minutes, 51 seconds is where I'm coming back in. We're not gonna go through all those entrances again. 2 hours, 17 minutes, 51 seconds, starting right now. Alright, so the Stars and Stripes Forever playing for Lex Luger, who people care about, but not entirely. Come on, baby! And see, there's another thing. That was another thing that started here. That was another reason why this pay-per-view was important. Because it started the Undertaker versus Yokozuna. Like, right off the bat. Like, it almost immediately moved Lex Luger and Yokozuna away from each other to move Lex Luger closer to Ludvig Borga and Undertaker closer to Yokozuna. However, the title hadn't changed hands. And it wasn't going to change hands. At least not to Lex Luger. At this particular point, I believe they still thought it was going to go to Lex Luger. But a couple things happened along the way, including the end of this match and the end of SummerSlam, which was actually their fault. They should have pulled the trigger at SummerSlam, but Vince McMahon got in his head for some reason to wait and make Lex Luger winning the title a WrestleMania moment instead of a SummerSlam moment, which it should have been. It should have just been the SummerSlam moment, and things would have, I don't know if it would have been hunky-dory, but it would have been different. And or at least better for Lex Luger. So now the teams are confabbing. They are not in the corners where you would think they were, or at the very least not in the corners where every other team this night has been in. They're going a little north to south here, and the referee's not changing them. So now Scotty Steiner's in there against Jacques. Rick is just blocking hard cam. Rick's back is just blocking hard cam. Kick to the midsection. You fuck fat ass! I don't care about you, Jacques! You're a fat ass! I'm a suplex your fat ass off my head! I'm Scott Steiner! Hook at the outside leg by Scotty Steiner on Jacques. And there's a tag to Brother Rick, the dog-faced gremlin, and he howls his way into that ring. He just gave him the up. Yes, he did. And by the way, he's a face in 1993 WWF. That's Scott Steiner, folks. He was always Scott Steiner. He was always Scott Steiner. Oh, but here comes the big man. I bet you, Ricky don't suplex Yoko. I bet you Ricky don't By the way, I recently went ahead and watched the Clash of the Champions where he suplexes Vader, Germans him like dead weight. Germans Vader. Holy shit! Holy shit! Go to the network and find that Clash of the Champions. It was an 8-man. It was a Survivor Series style match. Yes, it was an 8-man elimination tag. It was just before Halloween Havoc, so it was probably somewhere in September of, I want to say 92? Probably not. I think it was 92. Big clothesline by Rick to Yoko, who wobbles the big man. Big shoulder block by Rick to Yoko, which sets him back again. And a big shoulder block, and Yoko goes to the outside. Yoko went to the outside and to his butt, and Ricky Steiner's going to do the dog howl all around that ring. Collar and elbow tie-up, and Yokozuna easily brings Rick Steiner over to his corner, and here comes the Lithuanian Luger, or wherever the hell he was from, Ludvig Borga, the Finland fighter, Ludvig Borga. The doughy-ass, not quite Russian guy, Ludvig Borga, who just tosses Rick Steiner to the outside. Rick Steiner goes to the top rope. How about a forearm just to the neck? Grabbing the arm of Ludvig Borga, that left hand. There's another shot right to the midsection, and now those shots to the midsection from Ludvig Borga to Rick Steiner. Big scoop slam by Borga. Coming off the ropes, big elbow misses the mark. Here comes Rick Steiner. Now he's back on his feet and back over to those ropes. Now he's up to the second rope, to the top rope. Oh! Almost caught. Ludvig Borga rolled through. Ludvig Borga was, and that was it? Really? That's how Rick Steiner goes down after he actually hits the move? Ludvig, I don't know if Ludvig Borga thought he was stronger than he really was. I don't know what happened. That move didn't quite hit. I mean, but you know what happens is, flying crossbodies into a float over, they botch all the time. Those are easy to botch. Those are super easy to botch. Because either the guy's supposed to catch you or he roll. Like, it's hard to do the roll through part. Because because you're rolling through with a guy and like tucking your head and your neck, you have a body there, so it's hard to do. A lot of times the guy doesn't necessarily roll, he more jumps like towards you, but he doesn't continue the roll motion to help you both get over. Like, it's a hard thing to do. I don't know why so many guys try to do it. That was pathetic. Yes, it was. But to be fair to that spot and both those guys, including Ludvig Borga, who I absolutely hate, that is not the easiest move to pull off. That move quite often gets botched. Quite easily. So now here comes a headlock now by Jacques on Scotty Steiner. And Scotty Steiner just lifts Jacques in the air like he's nothing. Like he's not a fat ass, but he's a fat ass. That's why I got him up my face. I'm going to toss him in a crush. Fat ass. And Crush caught Jacques with one hand. Crush is just massive. And that was, by the way, this is another thing. You put Ludvig Borga on a team with Crush and Yokozuna. Ludvig Borga is the second smallest guy on his team. He's the second smallest guy on his team. But you want to get him over as this big giant? You still have Crush on your roster. And Adam Bomb. Fuck you. Fuck you. You want to get Ludvig Borga in as this powerhouse. Seriously? You have powerhouses. Legit powerhouses. That are already over. That took years to get over. Come on. Come on, Shelly. Come on. Big pop pop. Gonna lift you a piece. I got you in my hand. Big pop. Fuck that. Freaks and peaks. By the way, for some reason, look at this. Stops off the Irish whip for a butterfly backbreaker. No, just suplex. Just huge strength. By the way, I was talking shit about Scott Steiner's size in the NWO and all that stuff. I forgot how big a boy Scotty Steiner always was. Like, for some reason, I always thought Scott Steiner was more flexible, more lean or whatever. He was really just slightly less cut than he turned out to be in WCW. Like, he really just got a little bit bigger, but he got more cut more than anything else. Big kick right across the head from Crush. That's a Vot shin right to the gullet of Big Papa Pump, and that probably knocked a few brain cells loose. That's probably where he got the idea to do chainmail. And here come the Smoking Guns, and the Smoking Guns probably getting a pay-per-view check for that. And some backstage guys. Randy Savage wants Crush bad. I want you, Crush. Yeah, Scotty Steiner just got tossed to Randy Savage by Crush. Scotty Steiner just got tossed out like the trash to Randy Savage by Crush. By the way, that was a well-played storyline. This is another thing I'm talking about with this Survivor Series. It's a well-played storyline. This Crush Savage storyline played all the way to WrestleMania, and it was so good. It was so good. It was such a good storyline. You felt Randy Savage's hatred or betrayal by Crush. You felt Crush as a bad guy. You're like, oh my gosh, Crush, why are you a bad guy? But you believed that Crush could just destroy anybody he wanted to destroy. He just could. And why would you join Mr. Fuji, Crush? Why? Lex Luger getting his ass on hard cam for one of the first time since his entrance tonight. Big headbutt down on Scotty Steiner by the big Kona Hawaiian Crush. Scotty Steiner got a headbutt, but is selling the knee. I think he landed on that leg as he got tossed to the outside. Because he's selling the right leg, but now here comes Crush. He's going to start working on that left leg to help him out here. That's a good wrestling move, by the way. If you don't have anything planned and you see a guy is legit injured, start working on that body part, or at least the range of body parts that that guy has hurting on him. If the guy's leg is legitimately fucked up, go to work on the leg. If his right leg is legit fucked up, go to work on the left leg. No one can tell which leg is fucked up and he's hobbling on. Meanwhile, the Undertaker hasn't been in this match yet at all. Standing over there in the corner. This is how I would have booked him for the Doink match. He would just be standing there with the fucking Doink mask. Now I want to see that match. God damn it. 2K designers, get me a Survivor Series mode. 2K designers, I need a Survivor Series mode. Here comes Savage again. Randy Savage cannot be held back by agents or the Smoking Guns. Randy Savage is dragging 10 men down to the ring with him to get his hands on Crush. Oh, dropkick by Scotty Steiner. Since Crush to the outside, Crush is like, fuck it. All that was separating us was ropes before, buddy. And the Smoking Guns, I don't know why the Smoking Guns are out there, but they are. And Crush had Savage up. Savage is fighting his way back down. Savage is a house of fire. Savage, move, kids. Move out of the way. Get the fuck out. Beat this guy up right in front of you, little kids. Randy Savage, I love the kids. I'm gonna beat this guy up in front of him. Meanwhile, Crush has been eliminated. Crush has been counted out. That'll be the end of Crush. Scotty Steiner is getting it from the other end there by Ludvig, Borga, and Yokozuna as Jacques distracts Lex Luger. Crush has been eliminated. Crush has been counted out. That's it for Crush. Crush has been counted out of this one, and here comes a camel clutch. Not a very good one, but here comes a camel clutch. Wouldn't be the strangest moment in Undertaker's career. That may have been tonight when he was in the... The message was a little bit too long. I'm going to have to check out SmackDown Live 900 and see what happened with The Undertaker. I know he was going to make a cameo for seemingly no reason, or just maybe set up him... whoever his opponent's gonna be for, I don't know, Rumble or Mania. I'm over Undertaker. Like, Undertaker needs to retire at this point. No, that was the love. That was what I loved about Randy Savage. Randy Savage got in that mode. He was in that fucking mode. Meanwhile, Pile Driver to Scotty Steiner didn't eliminate him. He's got that big tree trunk-like neck. Jacques now Irish whipping left to right. Missing with that one. It got a shot right to the gut from Scotty Steiner. Now Scott Steiner needs to go across that ring and tag somebody, anybody. But no, he's going to keep fighting. Boot right to the gut of Jacques. That's one thing if you're going to watch it. I'll probably watch the... I'll watch it. I'll watch it probably tomorrow morning. Scotty Steiner with the tag now on the All-American Lex Luger. Meanwhile, The Undertaker did not dress for the occasion. He's still in his black and gray. I don't see any red, white, and blue on him at all. American badass, my ass. Boom, forearm right across. That'll do it for Jacques. He just caught that metal plated forearm from the second rope right across the face. I don't think anybody on the All-American team has even talked to The Undertaker in this match. I think The Undertaker is just in this match. Like, he's not in the ring yet. Yeah, USA. USA. All right, good. At least it was a fun show. So again, Luger was just in the ring, just beat Jacques. Ludvig Borga is supposed to be the guy he's supposed to face, but he tagged himself out so that Scotty Steiner, who had just taken a tremendous beating, including a pile driver, can get back in that ring. What the hell kind of sense does that make? This is why you're a shitty captain, Lex Luger. You have no psychology whatsoever. That's why you aren't champ right now. Because you didn't even bother to try to pick Yokozuna. Oh, big clothesline. You didn't even try to pick Yokozuna up to get him back in the ring at SummerSlam. And now you're going to skin Scotty Steiner, who just took 5 to 10 minutes of punishment. Right, what a coward Lex is. You just took 5 to 10 minutes of punishment from Big Kona Hawaiian Crush, who, by the way, the only reason why that punishment ended was because of Randy Savage, and nothing to do with Crush or Scotty Steiner. Now you're going to send him back in the ring against a fresh as a daisy Ludvig Borga? You suck, Lex. You suck. Meanwhile, Ludvig goes to the top. Scotty Steiner's there to meet him. Now, there's not to say that there's not still fighting Scotty Steiner, but Jesus. No, 93 was not a good year for Lex. But then again, neither was 2004. Oof. At least it wasn't, 2003 or whenever that was? When he was on that one show, and he didn't have his shirt! I don't know! Can't even afford to pay me? I don't know! That Lex Luger? That was, find that Lex Luger. Find Lex Luger, I don't know. That was a meme for a while. Find that, Lex Luger. Meanwhile, this will be the end for Scotty Steiner. No, it won't. He moves out of the way of the elbow of Yokozuna, the big 500 and probably 68 pound at this point. Yokozuna goes up. Oh, no, I don't think... Was Scotty planning on giving a Frankensteiner to Yokozuna? Get out of here. Leg drop to the face. Go home. 1, 2, 3. I just lost to a fat ass. I can't lose to a fat ass. Scotty Steiner, I hate fat asses. Yeah, holla if you hear me. But he hurt. Now, and again, Luger didn't want to get in the ring. Luger doesn't know what to do. Luger doesn't know what to do in a main event situation, which is weird because he was in main event situations for a while in the NWA. In the NWA. He was their champion. And again, taking his time. Oh, just a smack in the face. Here we go. Smack, kick right to the gut. Big chop by Yokozuna sends Lex Luger down. Big chop right to the trapezius muscles. Again, keeps Lex Luger down, and now it's Yokozuna on Lex Luger. Yokozuna, by the way, Undertaker still... Luger is the biggest heel of this match. Because at least Undertaker, it's not like Undertaker was ducking anybody, just nobody went over to that corner. Nobody bothered to wake him up. Nobody bothered to get to that corner. By the way, I don't think... In this match, I saw any of the faces missing with that huge splash. I don't think I saw any of the faces try to break up any pins or anything in this match. That's interesting. Big right hands by Luger onto that big coconut head of Yokozuna, who, again, still Polynesian, even though they built him from Japan. Initially, they built him from Polynesia. Oh, that clothesline didn't go anywhere, though, because Yokozuna's got a bigger arm than you, Lex. And that's just it. With a man the size of Yokozuna, a lot of times you just got to take it to him. You try to get as much speed as you can to move that immovable object. And what happens is when that immovable object catches you, it catches you. Here comes Ludvig Borga now in with Lex Luger. Irish whipped over to the far side, left to right, another punch to the midsection. That's Ludvig Borga's moveset. Try to create Ludvig Borga on 2K. It's punch to the midsection, punch to the midsection, kick to the midsection. And that Argentine backbreaker. And now Lex Luger's reaching for the tag on the Undertaker. He's probably not going to get it, though. At least not right now. As Ludvig Borga continues to work over Lex Luger. Headbutt now to Lex Luger. And now the tag. And again, this is the difference between the teams. The frequent tags in and out. The four Fanatics are making versus the All-Americans. Again, the Undertaker has yet to get involved in this match. But it sets up the storyline with him and Yokozuna very well. Luger flat on his back now. Getting pulled up by Yokozuna. Punched right into that corner. Irish whip now north to south. Corner to corner. Yokozuna's going to get ahead of steam here. Will he have enough time? Well, he took a little bit too much time. Yes, he did. Almost 600 pounds, and Lex Luger just moved out of the way. And now Lex Luger needs to make a tag. He's crawling along. And, by the way, the people have not been into this match as much as they were when Savage came out and when Taker was about to tag himself in. Boom. Very little he had to do. Irish whip now, north to south. Big DDT down on Yokozuna. Now the crowd's awake. The crowd hasn't been awake for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Now the crowd's awake. Big open hand shot to the throat area by Undertaker. Clothesline. Rocks. There's a club from Ludvig Borga, and he gets a shot to the throat that sends him to the floor. Trap arm belly to belly by Yokozuna though. Takes the Undertaker almost entirely out of this match. And there it is. There's the setup. He's still in this thing. And I don't think Yokozuna has ever been in the ring with anybody like The Undertaker. And a clothesline down. Huge shot. And again, he's never been in the ring with anybody like The Undertaker, but that leg drop right across the jaw of The Undertaker. This time he won't get up. This time The Undertaker won't get up. And this time Yokozuna will make sure of it with a bonsai drop in the corner. It's gonna happen. Sayonara Undertaker. Unless The Undertaker... Oh! Bonsai drop. That's it. Pin that... Nope. Not going for the pin, though. He didn't go for the cover. He didn't stay on top of The Undertaker. This is one of the big problems people have against The Undertaker, is that his opponents don't stay on top of him. They don't let the initial shock, and there's the miss of that bonsai drop, as The Undertaker just sits right back up to his feet. And he pulls Yokozuna back up to his feet. Irish whip now, east to west. Undertaker comes off, huge clothesline across the throat. Yokozuna now. Oh, Undertaker face for... Oh, God. And that is when Yokozuna realized he's never been in there with a man like The Undertaker. That is when Yokozuna got a fear of The Undertaker in him. And I think both men have been counted out of the 2 hour and 41 minute and 39 second mark. Looks like both men have been counted out of this one. And Paul Bearer cannot pull The Undertaker back. He's trying to pull The Undertaker back. He's got the urn. He's got his hair. It's not working. He can't separate Yokozuna and The Undertaker. Meanwhile, Ludvig Borga is going to walk into a victory here against Lex Luger. As Lex Luger is flat on his back still and caught a leg drop. Leg drops have won championships, but a kick out won't win this match here. Yokozuna can't believe what just happened with The Undertaker. Big sidewalk slam. Ludvig Borga and Lex Luger. This is as close as you're going to get to a Ludvig Borga Lex Luger one-on-one match. Kids, I hope you enjoy it. I hope Vince McMahon enjoys this. This is what he wanted. Ludvig and Lex. Big blonde guy versus big blonde guy. This is what he wanted. Hope he enjoys it. Meanwhile, James E. Cornette is still out there. I guess he's the manager of the Foreign Fanatics, but Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji are out. Big suplex. Barely held Lex up. Cover lackadaisically. Doesn't put pressure on the shoulders. Doesn't hook the leg. Lex Luger's going to kick out pretty easily from that one. Irish whip now south to north. Goes up. Scoop power slam there by Ludvig Borga. Another lackadaisical cover. No pressure on the shoulders. No hook of the leg. And Lex Luger's going to kick out of those. Another clothesline down, but Lex Luger gets up. Another clothesline down, and Lex Luger stays down this time. And this time, still no pressure on the shoulders. No hook of the leg by Ludvig Borga. Those are more formality covers than anything else. Those are more show covers than anything else. He's not actually going for a pin there. I think he's just trying to make Lex kick out. Too bad. Lex still has a little something in the tank. Big suplex by Luger. This is by the way, in this Survivor Series of replacements and stuff, Ludvig Borga has caused WWF to replace him on big time matches more than once. WrestleMania and Royal Rumble of the next year, he had to be replaced by Bam Bam Bigelow and Adam Bomb respectively. Oh wait, no, all three managers are still out there. Johnny Polo, Mr. Fuji, and James E. Cornette. Look at this, and here comes Fuji into the ring. He's got the bucket, the salt bucket, and he hands it to Ludvig Borga. Poof! So yeah, this is an interesting pay-per-view for that reason. This is your one-on-one match between Ludvig Borga and Lex Luger that Vince McMahon wanted. This is it. But Lex Luger kicks out strong at 2 after the bucket to the head. Why? Because they want him to be the next Hulk Hogan. So now he's hulking up. Now he's got the right hands. Now he's hulking up. Irish whip now south to north. Ludvig Borga catches a shot to the midsection. One of the ones that he's been giving to guys all night long. DDT, not very well executed, but executed nonetheless. And Lex Luger now is a house of fire. The reaction Lex Luger is getting here, this is one of the reasons why I picked the 93 Survivor Series, because the reaction that Luger's getting here is a lot more tepid than it was at SummerSlam. But not quite as tepid as it would be at Royal Rumble later, a few months later. Listen to the reaction. The crowd is into him because they're supposed to be into him, but they're not really into him because they first of all, in this match alone, they've seen him in there with bigger stars. He had a bigger star in the Undertaker on his team. He wasn't even the biggest star on his team. And he's supposed to be main event here. This is one of those matches, and there it is, the forearm shot right to the head of Ludvig Borga. And now it's snowing in the Boston Garden. Why? Because Thanksgiving's almost over. So it's Christmas time. So here comes Santa for the second year in a row. Yeah, Luger was the number 2 guy on his team. Behind the Undertaker. You're right, RPS. This is horrible. And here comes Santa Claus for quite literally no reason, because Thanksgiving is still a day away. As they're doing this live in 93. So, Christmas hasn't arrived just yet. It ain't the Christmas season just yet. But again, hey, I'm a good guy. Santa likes me. Santa's here. How about that? Santa's here for me. Oh. Woof. But the match was interesting because of the people involved, because of the ramifications involved, really because of Undertaker versus Yokozuna, and what that would set up for the next year plus, little over a year that it would set up. Tatanka was completely out of it, but the whole, yeah, Taker and Santa. You're right. I came to see Santa. I paid to see Santa. I wonder if Santa will make an appearance this year. Yeah, no. I wonder if he does. Is John? Let's see. Who's? Let's see here. Hold on here. Let's see. Survivor Series 2016's official line. I know. There's a whole bunch of people on this lineup, but I want to see where all the matches are probably going to be. Oh, you know what I want to see? Okay, so Brock versus Goldberg will probably be the last match, right? Let's have Santa Claus come out after Goldberg wins. or even better, let's have Santa Claus come out after Brock wins. Brock does the whole Lex Luger, hey, Santa's here to see me! Santa's here to see me! Santa brings James Ellsworth the chin. Hey, James Ellsworth not having a chin is the only thing that kept him from dying in the Stylesplex. Because he was able to tuck his head even further. Oh my gosh. I want to see Santa come out. After Brock Lesnar wins. Oh, Brock, you've taken all these boys and girls to Suplex City. Oh, I want to see him give Paul Heyman back his baseball cap with the ponytail. Oh, that's what I want to see. Hold on. Cena's got to be on. Okay, so there. Wait a minute. Is Cena not on the show? Oh, did Cena go? Cena went to go shoot that movie, didn't he? I think Cena just took some time off to shoot that movie. Okay, so yeah, Cena needs to come out after either the Brock Lesnar match or the Raw versus SmackDown match, and that would be great. No. You know what I want to see? I want to see this is great. So Team Raw wins. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are the last two survivors. And Santa comes out. Santa's list versus Jericho's list. Book it, Vince. Come on, Vince. Book that shit. Santa's list versus Jericho's list. It's a Survivor Series tradition. Santa's got to come out at the end of that shit. You did it 2 years in a row. I don't think they did it in 94, but you did it 2 years in a row, damn it. Come on. Come on, Vince. You got to make that happen. That has to happen. Matter of fact, I know they didn't do that at the end of Survivor Series 94, but you got to make that happen. Come on. Jericho and each other. Yes, Jericho and Santa put each other on their list. Yes. Make that. Just book that. Just book that. Tell me I don't know how to book. I'll take that big giant check now, WWE. All right, party people. It's been great. We're gonna be doing this, by the way, leading up to Survivor Series. We're gonna be doing this a couple more times. Survivor Series 94 is on the docket. Survivor Series 95 is on the docket. Survivor Series 2002 is on the docket. I don't know if there's another Survivor Series I want to take a look at, but those are the ones I definitely want to take a look at. I don't know in what order we're going to take a look at them. I don't know if we're going to take a look at them in sequential order or if we're just going to take a look at them randomly. I feel like 95 would be a little bit more interesting to take a look at right now, but that's just right now. Like, it may change by the time I wake up in the morning. So, check back here tomorrow. We're going to try to do this sometime around May. Actually, I'm going to try to do this, meet back here about 6-ish, 6:30 Pacific time. If you're following me, you'll see the tweets, Surreal469 on everything, including YouTube. So check back here for all that stuff. If you go over to, I got a swag store, you can take a look at it. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got a swag store and stuff. cafepress.com/Surreal469. Get yourself some merch. Get yourself some, subscribe, like, share. All that stuff that most people say at the end of their videos that I usually say at the end of my video. I'm too tired to say at the end of this video. Fucking just do all that stuff and help support. Alright? Alright. Peace out.